leveling. Look at the way that I'm going.
Check me out. Don't I look good? I know I do. It's a glow up, baby. Could it be my hair? Maybe it's my purse. Maybe it's the tattoos underneath my shirt. Maybe it's the perfume. Baby got a new scent. 'Cause patience is a virtue, and I ain't done yet. Get yourself together, girl. Get in your bag. Wait, they gon' clock. Let them all know that it's the comeback. It's a glow up. You can hashtag that. Upgrade, new style. Glow
what you want, we can rip them tags. With the credit card, maybe cash. With you, I can go anywhere. You my princess, my fairy tale. So true, you know very well. You got it on lock, hey. Move, girl, you gotta dance quickly. And when I'm gone, you tell me that you miss me. Yeah, I throw it at you like a frisbee. And I get a warm feeling when you kiss me. It's like, ooh, ass, so brand new. I'ma chew on you like you bamboo. I'ma give you too much that you can't handle. I'ma give you what you want, what you need that I can't do. Is it really what you want? Is it what you want? Is it really what you need? Is it what you need, girl? Is it really what you want? I can tell us what you want. What you need. Come on. Is it really what you want? Is it what you want? Is it really what you need? Is it what you need? Is it really what you want? What you want? What you want, what you need. Fresh and clean, fresh and deep. Dress to please, dress or jeans. Helps you with your self-esteem. This sort of love is seldom seen. Run and tell them if they don't agree. On my knees with a hopeless plea. Throwing rocks at your window so you won't sleep. So hear me, nice and slow. I blast that on the radio. Get a suitcase, gotta find a way to go. Cause we on stage and we gotta play the role. Is it really what you want? Is it what you want? Is it really what you need? Is it what you need, girl? Is it really what you want? I can tell us what you want. What you need. Come on. Is it really what you want? Is it what you want? Is it really what you need? Is it what you need? Is it really what you want? What you want?
way. Love gets in the way. I'm not looking for a regular thing. Let's keep it casual, pure and physical. Hard time lovers, if you know what I mean. Oh, come when I call ya. Oh, doing it for ya. Oh, gonna enjoy ya. Can you feel the temperature rising? Oh, it's so energizing. Oh, where did my head go when I'm in love with you? It feels good. Come treat me like you should. We get up, we get down. You come and love me good, like you should. You know I know you could. We get up, we get down. The weekend comes around. The weekend comes around. The weekend comes around. I didn't mean to lead you on, so I'm here to tell you what I want. Oh, yeah. See, come the weekend, you're the one.
Good morning, welcome, bienvenue to Paris for the Trackmania World Cup 2025. 4 teams enter. All 4 teams will hopefully be able to leave afterwards as well. But only one of them will leave a world champion. To bring you all the action today, starting with the semi-finals, moving on to our grand finals later on. I'm Noah Lake. Joining me is, of course, Lucker's Turbo. Turbo, how are you feeling about this World Cup that we have going on in front of us?
I'm feeling so excited, like a year of Trackmania is getting concluded today. We could see a new world champion today, or just recurring ones with Peck and Carl Jr. Of course, that's the duo to beat, but it's only 3 matches. It could be over so quick, everything. Yeah,
and those first 2 matches going to be a little bit quicker than the grand finals as well. The format for today is going to be 2 best-of-5s into a best-of-7 for that grand finals. And let's talk a little bit about those matchups as well. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the format first of all, in case anyone's joining us who has not been watching World Tour so far this year. Best of 5 is going to feature pick and bans. We have 7 maps in the map pool in total, so it'll be 1 ban per team in those semi-finals. And then the best of 7 is going to be picks only, because we have 7 maps and we need to have all 7 available for a best of 7. The point system, we are playing in the duo format. It is going to be 2v2. If you come first and second, you get 3 points. That's an ace. The other team gets 0. If you get first and third, you get 2 points, and the other team gets 1 point. That's a round win for the team that comes first and third. And of course, then if you come first and fourth and your opponents come second and third, that is a tie, and both teams will get 1 point. First team to get to 10 points wins. And if you have to go over that, because both teams continue to draw round on round on round, we will keep going until one team is over 10 points and has a lead.
And we also have 7 maps in the map pool, of course. We have 5 maps that have been designatedly created for this event. And then there's 2 maps, one from stage 1 and one from stage 2 that are returning as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Ascension and Air Control are the maps we're talking about that are just returning in that way. And we haven't really seen too much of the other maps thus far. World Records Online are from players that you have heard, of course, about, but the pace, we don't know. We don't know what maps players will take. The match could be over so quick as well. And I mean, semi-final 1, maybe let's talk about a little bit about that one as well, because it is Massa and Granadi who barely qualified on that last match. I mean, it was Boca being so close of qualifying as well, playing against Team Jetlag, Bren and Muda on the other hand.
Yeah, very different roads to get to this semi-final for both teams over the course of the year, even over the course of the last couple of months. As you said, Big were fighting for their lives in Europe, as were a number of other teams as well. There are, of course, teams from Europe that we aren't seeing here today. We have 2 teams from Europe, Big and Nemesis, but I think there's some notable mentions from Europe as well. As you said, Boca, who were so close to qualifying as well. Swift, the team of Epos and New Prime, who during the year looked really strong at different times and then ultimately just couldn't quite devote the time to really pushing at the end in order to try and secure the qualification. And even, I mean, down to teams like Dawn, who won the first EU regional this year in the World Tour, and then after that everyone else kind of woke up and shut them down. You know, the team of Scandia and Wosile that did so well early on.
And also we have seen one of the best matches happening there. Dawn versus Boca in the first grand final. It was a reverse sweep from Dawn, and some could even say that Dawn denied Boca the entry to the World Cup because they were missing a couple of points to be ahead of Big. And if they were ahead of Big at the end, Big and Boca would have made it instead of Nemesis and Big. So it's just incredible to think about that because, of course, the teams, like the team who qualified from the global playoffs too, is the team that has the best results and is not first in their region. And since it was Big already first in the region, it went down to the second seeded team in that tournament, and that was Team Nemesis, with also probably the best match of this year. Boca versus Nemesis, and Nemesis winning it. Boca always just 1 inch short. 1 inch short in those 2 matches, and they had won any of those 2 matches, they would have been here.
Yep, things are getting loud in the arena behind us. We are live on site, and we will be having players arriving in relatively soon, is what it sounds like to me. Desperately trying to interpret the French broadcast as well. We will have players arriving in. We've already mentioned it. This first semi-final is going to be the players between Big on the left and, of course, the team from Australia on the right, Jetlag, Bren and Mudda, and we're looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Mudda in the classic Batman t-shirt, as we've seen many times before. Mudda's second year playing at a World Cup with a wheel as well. Going to be interesting. This is, of course, the matchup of our wheelmen, as Grenadi over on Team Big versus Mudda on Team Jetlag. The 2 players out of 8 who are playing the wheel in this World Cup finals.
And let's see if Mudda can finally redeem himself, because last year he got not into the final. He played really well in 2023 alongside Soldier, but there he has not really, like, he has gotten far. But with a wheel, I think he's still not quite there yet, right? As you can also see the other teams on there as well. The other semi-final will be between Carl Jr. Pack and Mime and Paco, but let's firstly focus on that one, because Mudda, is he able to just bring up that pace? Is he able to match his teammate? Because both of them have been extensively preparing for this event. Both of them being streamers as well, have not really been streaming too much in the last couple of weeks. I think Mudda had 1 stream alongside Semifying and Virtual where they played another game. So I don't know what will happen. Also, Grenadi and Massa being completely silenced. Grenadi still focusing a bit on content creation during that time and still practicing. I talked with him a little bit about how he went into the practice, and he was like, okay, in the morning I practiced for the World Cup, and then in the evening I just went on into streaming.
And I mean, look, you're talking about it. Both of these teams have been relatively similar in the last month, taking a step back from their content creation to really focus on learning these maps, making sure that they can deliver the best performance possible. But we already talked about the journey that Big had even to get here in the first place. It has to be said, a very different journey for Jetlag, who were playing in that APAC region, you know, Asia and the Pacific and Australia and everyone else from that part of the world, and they dominated. I think as expected at the start of the year. They did drop one of the tournaments at one point against Mahi, who J-Swag and Baliwak have been floating around for the last couple of years as very good homegrown talents from the Australasia region. But it has to be said, there was a sub playing for Jetlag in that tournament, and when we have had this lineup of Bren and Mudda, they have looked unstoppable. And I think what's been exciting is seeing them in the global playoffs. They have not looked outpaced. I think that was one of the worries, was that the lack of strong home competition for them in the regionals was going to show when it came to global playoffs, and that's not been the case.
But in global playoffs too, it felt to me that Team Jetlag was lacking a little bit to the top teams. I think they got like 6th to 8th position, something in that regard. But let's see what they can do here, because they have already locked in their spot. They didn't have to perform in that event at all. It was the EU teams by the name of Grenadi and Massa who were not safe yet. Mime and Paco also got there in by a miracle, I would say, in that regard. So they really had to give everything they have. Maybe they also feel a little bit of a burnout practicing those maps. They have one one map in there, of course, that they've extensively practiced by the name of Air Control. A very cool and pacey map. But also Otak and also Bings were very good on that map as well. And it's just heartbreaking to me to not see them here. But we have other very fantastic teams coming into here as well. Maybe another team to mention from the EU region who did not really try to qualify in Global Playoffs 2 was the team by New Prime and Epos.
Yeah, Team Swift, absolutely. I already mentioned them by name once, but it is worth highlighting as well that, you know, they won a few regionals along the way. They were doing well all year long. I mean, you know, Epos has obviously had his other successes outside of World Tour this year, and New Prime has as well. But unfortunately, with those successes, not able to find the time to devote to this. But EU in general was cannibalistic compared to the other regions. Teams were eating each other alive out there in terms of the race for playoff points, the race to get to the top. And Nemesis were the team that ultimately ended up benefiting. Throughout the rest of the year, you know, they've had, I almost want to call them disappointing performances, Turbo, in some other World Tour events, right? You know, they were struggling to quite perform to the level that we know that they can. These are two very strong players who just weren't quite breaking through to the same level as some of the top teams in EU at times. But here they are, top 4.
I mean, runner-up Comic-Con Baltics, right? Spammy of the World Tour too. I mean, those are just some tournaments that they have participated in. But to say disappointing, we expect more from players like Paco and Mime. Of course, Mime also played XP Evo Grand Final. You know, I think he got 3rd position in there, just ahead of Muda. And then, it was Epos in 1st, of course. So, and Carl Jr. in 2nd. So that's just how it panned out. But I also looking forward to see how Paco will perform in his 2nd World Cup, because last year it all was over so quick. But now he has a very, very solid and strong teammate who always plays calm and collected behind him. But they have the team to beat. They have Carl Jr. and Pac to play against.
That 2nd semi-final is going to be brutal. I mean, Nemesis are a team that have the pace. That's always been the case with this team, that they have the pace. The problem is occasionally how well they deliver it in matches. Paco in particular, as you say, has struggled with that in previous years. But this year, with Mime as a teammate, as you said, that very solid presence alongside him on stage, having now gotten a little bit more stage experience, having played in Comic-Con Baltics as well. Well, that's all to come in the future. We'll see how that 2nd match goes, but suffice to say, we are excited for it. We are into pick bands for our first match of the day. Big versus Jetlag is that first match.
And here, I don't know what maps we're gonna see. I think it will be a surprise for us. For me, a ban on the side of Big would definitely be way down, because this map in camera 1 is very hard to play.
There you go.
Okay, good call here from me, I guess. Then for Jetlag, I mean, I think Camelback is a good map for them in that way. Viperline as well, but it's Ascension the ban, which makes a lot of sense. Reactor boost being used, a multi-mixed or multi-style part in there being used. I mean, the start already is very hard, where you have the reactor boost going into play. Air Control as map number 1. I can see that it's the pace map. Big also did really good on that map during Global Playoffs 2, I would say. So that is the map that we're gonna see a reuse from Global Playoffs 2, but what will map 2 be? I mean, there's still Camelback in there,
that's
second pick.
The selection for Big, of course, the first pick going to Jetlag, 2nd and 3rd picks for Big, Camelback and Nostalgia. Nostalgia, of course, our track that has a little bit of an AO1 remake in there as the identity. And of course, Jetlag now getting to make the final pick, and then, you know, in some ways that decides if we go to map 5, what it'll be. And the final map will be Viperline. Viperline, an interesting one, I think, Turbo, to be last in this match. It's kind of the more RPG-heavy map in this map pack, which is a style that we know that Bren is famously very good at. To see it fall so far down the order here, I think it's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, and also Camelback for me is just the most vanilla mixed style map that you have in there. So it's just a pace map in there. But Viperline, I expected that map to be maybe picked as 3rd or 4th map, but not as the one that is being the decider, because you can have a lot of close and great races on that map in particular. But here we go. We start off on a map that we have already seen beforehand. It is not Ascension that has been banned. It is Air Control, and here it's all about controlling your car, getting smooth lines across. Also here the nosedive is very important to get across. And after 10 seconds, we will be starting our first semi-final. Granadier Massa versus Brennan Muda. Only one team can go through through. It is do or die for the teams.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm delighted we are starting the day off on this map, because in some ways it feels to me like a little bit of an introduction to the map pack as a whole. There's a lot of maps in here that want you to control those jumps, that want you to keep control of your car, and seeing which team can get it done on this first map is going to be so important. That's a mistake. Bren sliding all out. It's all up to Mudda at this point already in round one to try and deny Big more points.
Yeah, but Mudda with a great and smooth jump there, just gaining a lot of speed, moving up into the first position, having to release there. So Granati taking back the lead here just temporarily. Massa a little bit further behind, but only 500ths of a second. As you can see, Massa and Granati with a great start. Bren, just a loose cannon, could really deny some points to the others here, as Mudda is not slowing down. As you can see, a world record is a 1:18.330 by Bings. That's what I found. So a bit faster than the 3:95 from Mayim there on the top. And Mudda definitely not slowing down. Look at that line. So much risk is being taken by the Thunder from down under, as you can see here. Not clipping. Also Massa with a mistake. So Granati versus Mudda it is in the first round.
Yeah, incredibly close between the two of them. Granati trying to find a way past Mudda, who has been near perfect. Wide setup for Mudda, more speed on the exit, so close to the outside wall. Jumping a little bit further on that one, will land a little bit sooner on this second jump, but it's great speed down the hill from Granati. Mudda is starting to fall away from him just a little bit, but again, more speed from Mudda right at the end. He's got him! He's got him. What a round to start off our live event in Paris. 1:19.11 from Mudda, and he wins the round by only 21 thousandths.
But Massa also staying 21 thousandths clear of Bren, who has crashed the start. Massa also with an early mistake. So it starts off with a draw, and you can see it first and fourth, or second and third position respectively, is rewarding both teams with 1 point. And here we go. Now we see Bren not with a mistake at the start. Again, Granati not getting a smooth landing in that sector there.
Yeah. And of course, as a reminder to everyone, this was Jetlag's pick to start this match off. So they'll want it to go well. They definitely will not want both players making a mistake on the same quarter pipe jump. It's not a huge mistake for Bren. He's only about 3/10ths down from the lead. Mudda a little bit further away, but as it stands, Big sitting in ace position on round two.
And also, what is the strat now for Big to go into this round? They know that they are 0.4 or 0.5, 0.6 ahead. Can you save it on this map? How much can you release? Because there's heavy speed checks that you have to take. Maybe you want to release in a turn here and there, but you can still fail, of course.
Yep.
So I just hope that you have to be calm and collected, but sometimes those rounds are the easiest ones to mess up.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Jetlag, I don't think Big are looking like messing it up right now. The gap is just extending. Bren has fallen further down towards where Mudda is. The ending just to go for Big, and they look to have done it at this point. They will find an ace in round two. It got close at the end there.
Yeah,
Bren came out of nowhere.
It was enough. Massa was saving a bit in some of those parts. So very smart decision making there from Massa, just playing the formats correct. And an ace is just so advantageous for you as a team. 4-1 it is. Big is 3 points ahead, and this looks very good. This could be over in 2 rounds if Big just does it again. But of course, due to those mistakes from Mudda and Bren, it opened the ace opportunity for Big, and they took it.
And I suppose that's the important thing to remember. Jetlag were sitting in this ace position last round when they both made mistakes as well. This was the section. This time around, it's Massa whose car goes flying. He's respawned further down the track. Granati has managed to slide past Mudda into second place for the time being, looking to limit the damage, prevent a counter ace, and allowing Jetlag to tie the scores back up.
Yeah, but still Granati's in there right now chasing Bren, and the gap is shrinking here by the looks of it. 0.1 of a second. Massa respawning again. He's very far behind. Oh, Granati not with a good line there, so losing a bit of time, traveling more distance in that corner, but he goes for the attack. It's still nothing decided in the end. Better exit from that turn can really decide a lot here. And look at that, that's what I was talking about. You can slide out there. So it is Granati going back into the lead, and 1 point will be great. Mudda now also with a mistake, but Massa too far behind to even answer that respawn from Mudda there, so will be another draw. Now the question is really, Massa could have definitely gotten third position in that round with only that one respawn at the start, but like that it will be another draw, but still heavily advantageous for Big.
Yeah, and Granati starting to up the pace a little bit as well. It's a 1:18.9 on the round. Even if Massa doesn't finish here, it will still be the draw. as you see it come through just there. The draw for big will finish off as once one player finishes first and the other two players from the other team finish second and third, even if the fourth player doesn't finish, it still goes into the books as a draw. Huge round for big to hold on to that 3-point lead that the ace gave them. It's getting messy at the start of our next round though, as Massa has dropped a little ways behind. No major mistake just yet, hasn't been forced to respawn, but it has led Mudda and Bren into first and second. Again, holding on to that ace position early in the round. They have not been even close to holding it, really, it feels like, in any of the previous rounds.
But look at that. Granadi bouncing back. 3 individual mistakes at the start, as you can see it there. Mudda on great pace, but Granadi has shown a great performance here, but doesn't get the nosedive there. So look how much speed he loses over the course of the map. Also here, the approach wasn't really it. So now Mudda and Bren, they could equalize the scoreline, but it is Mudda with a mistake in that turn. They're slowing down dramatically, but still staying out of Massa and Granadi.
Yeah, losing a little bit of speed, but managing to keep the car on track, which is not a guarantee. That was almost a clip, it looked like, from Bren, but it was just a release in the air. He's still holding on to that first place, still has his teammate backing him up in second, but you can see Massa lurking in the background. Nice jump, far right for Mudda, who's going to get good speed downhill as Massa respawns behind with Granadi 4/10 down. That should surely be it. There's not enough track left. There won't be a crash at the finish line. That's the ace, and Jetlag have tied us back up.
So not the fastest time here by any means, 1:19.208, but it sealed the deal. They were able to get it through yet again, and Massa finishing not finishing
the round
again,
twice in a row,
Twice in a row, so Massa not really feeling it on those rounds. Maybe also playing the format in that way that he just goes for the risk and decides to maybe deny the players. You know, we have already talked about that before we went onto the broadcast.
Yeah.
It's like playing the format, and Caldini and Pack did it to perfection, I would say. And then also Massa and Granadi are kind of the same. Granadi usually playing more safe, and Massa is the loose cannon in that way, trying to really push it. And also here in this round, we can see Massa with an insane start going into that. So the scoreline 5-5. The game has really started, and it could be anyone's map still.
Yeah, but this round balanced on a knife edge, leading the way for big. You have the player who has not finished 2 rounds in a row. If things go wrong for Massa in this position, well, it would have been an ace for Jetlag until Bren made that mistake a little bit further down the track, overtaken by Granadi, and up front, Mudda will get past Massa as well. Back into a draw position as the teams invert themselves on the scoreboard. Wide line for Mudda, looking for speed. A little bit of a release from Massa, gets good speed as well down that hill. We have seen overtakes happen through this identity at the end of the track already. Massa landing so early, so much speed going for this second jump, but it's such an early landing for Mudda as he continues to hold on to that first. He's very far right, he gets a lovely nose down, and Mudda just extends that gap to a few car lengths as he crosses the line in first place. Bren in fourth, that's a draw. We stay on 6-6.
6-6, and we're getting ever so close to that 10-point threshold that players or the teams have to cross, or just reach on the dot, right? So that's how you win a map. But also important now for Massa to bounce back after 2 no finishes, getting that second place, getting that 119 low, and showing that he's able to do it, getting that second place in there. So nothing happened in that round by the looks of it. Just in terms of points, but maybe for the mentality for Massa, who gets another great start into this round.
Yeah, it was a great start,
unlucky.
but it's that quarter pipe jump again. It has been causing problems for both teams over the course of this opening map of our semi-final. And this time around, it's Massa. At least not a huge mistake. He has survived. He is still close to those taillights of Mudda. And he does still have a teammate leading the way. We are in a draw position once again.
And also, Massa is not too far behind, I would say, maybe 0.3 to 0.4 of a second. Massa could really risk
Granadi.
it, but Granadi, that is a very
disaster.
That is a very costly mistake, because that puts Mudda and Bren up into first and second place, and now Massa has to push. He has nothing to lose in this way. He needs to deny that ace to Mudda and Bren, else they only need 1 more point in the next round. So it's ace or bust for Massa and Granadi if the positions stay like this. Very clean landing from Mudda here yet again, very much controlled. Also, Bren looking very, very clean here, and this will be the ace for Jetlag, and also good times here as well. so important, but also so heartbreaking for Granadi to crash in that round.
Yeah, that's tough, right? It's been a map as well that has been balanced on a knife edge. So far, we talked about it. When you have these relatively close rounds where the teams are sitting in draw position, all it does take is someone crashing out at first, and you go from a draw, no change on the scoreboard, to being down by 3 in an instant. Better start from Big. We've seen Jetlag with the 1-2 lead at the start of many rounds so far on air control. This time around, Big sit 1-2. This jump has been a problem. Massa, small clip, but doesn't lose much speed. Bren, on the other hand, gets it near flawless and has closed that gap all the way down.
Oh, this is so exciting to see because Bren is in need of that second place. Massa not with it. They just set up a bit further right, but losing speed. Look at the speed here from Bren going into that corner, elevating up into first position. Both Massa and Granadi didn't get a clean line across, and it is Bren now back into the lead. He only needs a second place, but he has quarter of a second of a gap towards Granadi. Bren could make it, but again, a mistake can happen so easy on this map, but it's Jetlag's first pick, so giving this one already up could already seal the deal for you.
Yeah, it's time to play it safe for Bren, though. You're absolutely right. He has a lead of 3 tenths down to Granadi, 2.5 tenths, really. That's the player he needs to beat. He can let one of these 2 blue cars past him. As long as he gets one of them, that's it. Jetlag win the map, and I don't think he's going to let either past them. Bren holding the lead around this final right-hander, will cross in first. Sub 119, and Jetlag will take us to map 2 with a lead.
And it was literally this mistake from Granadi there in that round that set them up for the ace. But on the other hand, of course, Massa has gotten 2 no finishes in those rounds. So it looked a bit wonky on that side, so maybe it's also the stage pressure, who knows that, but maybe it's also not their favorite map to play. But now we finally go to a map that we haven't seen thus far, Camelback as map number 2, a map that feels the most like a just multi-style mixed map from other competitions, but you have a lot of fragile being incorporated and weaved into this map with a lot of forced lines. We have a lot of obstacles in your way.
Yeah, I will say that was a very 2025 mapping moment where you said this feels like the most normal map in the pack, and we cut to the players driving an entire wood section. You're like, yeah, I guess this is the new normal, as unfortunately for Bren, his new normal is being down in 4th place by just over a second in our opening round on Camelback. Of course, this is Big's first pick of the match. Jetlag picked air control, they won on it. Big, they picked Camelback, can they win on it and equalize the score?
Yeah, let's go into the first round. As we already see, Bren with a mistake. Granadi falling a bit behind. It's Massa versus Muda here in the first round for the first place. And Muda currently in the lead. So now we're going to the end. That's what I mean. This map feels not with that drift setup, all of those parts, and then the ending. This part reminds me of the map Slowdown. Maybe you guys remember that from 2023, if I recall that correctly. But look at that risk here from Massa, really trying to push it here for that first position. Muda with a bit more exit speed. Massa with a better line here by the looks of it. Sets up a bit further up, further down, but it's not enough here. Muda wins the round and sets a new world record, 1:535, destroying the world record that was there beforehand from Goya, which was 0.7 slower.
That's insane. I mean, round 1. We knew going into today, we didn't have a huge amount of time to talk to it as we started into these matches quickly, but we know that all of these players have been practicing offline. We kind of were predicting that most of them had times that were better than all the public world records on the maps, but to see the world record on Camelback beaten by 0.7 in our opening round, in a round where, let me remind you, Muda was not way out in front alone. Massa was 23 thousandths behind him at that finish line. It is going to be a close map. It is going to be a very close match, but Jetlag, they hold the ace through the first half of the track on round 2.
Yeah, very good start here from Jetlag. Maybe we're gonna see a 59 on this map. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But let's take a look onto this round, because this one is really heating up. Bren and Muda still in the lead. Massa chasing down. Granadi only 0.2 behind, but losing control there, steering a bit too much. And it looks like it is Muda and Bren who will be winning this round yet again here. Maybe can score an ace, but Massa is pushing it. Massa with a lot of speed can overtake one of them. No, it will not be enough, and it's another new world record and the ace for Jetlag on Big's first pick. It's 1-4. Big already have to answer that call here from Jetlag, really defining pace in this semifinal.
Yeah, Big unfortunately appear to have walked straight into Jetlag's trap. by picking this map second, giving them Camelback. Jetlag are looking fantastic as Bren steals the world record away from his teammate, a world record he set 1 round earlier. How much more is left in the tank for either side? How quick can Big be on the map? Because they're there. There's not been big crashes. It's just been a pace difference so far on those first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I agree. And then also, of course, on map 1, we had the consistency problem where Massa and Granadi both made smaller mistakes that compounded into a very big speed loss.
Yeah.
Because if you're behind, you maybe then have to push. And right now, it looks again like Bren and Muda are very consistent. Bren with a wide drift setup. Massa again there to deny, but Granadi was nowhere to be seen here. But we see Bren with a different line there as well. Very good setup there as well. Bren setting himself up for a lot of speed, but who's going to win this round?
It's going to be so close at the end. The question really becomes, does Bren manage to overtake Massa? And the answer is looking like yes, maybe he will. It's Bren who's in second at the finish line. It's another world record for Mutta. It's another ace for Jetlag.
But again, the ending line from Massa there, it feels like it's a bit slower than the one from Muda and Bren, really capitalizing on that. And that's why Jetlag now finds themselves in the lead. Massa was not able to find any entry into first or second place in round 3 and 2. Just at the end, he lost time towards that line, and now Jetlag on map points. They could go into the lead by 2 maps already, and this could be over very quick. Of course,
we could do it in 4 rounds.
We could still go to map number 4 and 5, but it will be a very long way for Big if they're gonna lose this map here. That's for sure. Massa again with a very good start. Kanadi again lacking a little bit of pace, but look at the lines here from Bren and Muda. Again, they find themselves in first and second again.
Again, they find themselves in first and second, and the problem for Big right now is that it has been this ending that Jetlag have beaten them on. This hump right here, they get left earlier, they get a car length lead out of it. The final hump as well, the line just doesn't seem to be there for Big to catch up with them. Mutta and Bren, they sit first and second, and barring a mistake, they will take Camelback in just 4 rounds. It's another PB for Bren. He doesn't get the world record back, and he won't get another shot because that is domination from Jetlag. 10-1 on map 2.
Also the times, 0.5s, 0.4s, spamming them in every round. Like this will be, if they make it into the grand final, this will be a very hard map for teams to beat.
Oh my god.
So that was great. That was a very, very good performance from Jetlag on map number 2. Asserting dominance 10-1, just dominating and just dumping Big on that map. Now we go to the second map pick from Big. It's Do or Die. It is Nostalgia, which is a remake or just has AO1 tailored into it. We have an identity in here, I would say, with a jump, of course, that is at the start, but also that an S4D, just a speed set that you trigger with your brake in the end to gain a little bit of time. And guess who comes from a full speed background? It is Muda.
Yeah, that's definitely the worry right now for Big. I suppose the worry in general is just, I mean, can they keep up with the pace on this map? That was the problem on our last map. They just did not have the pace to keep up. Never mind consistency, never mind mistakes. We just saw a team in a semi-finals of a World Cup win a map in 4 rounds on pure pace, and I gotta tell you how rare that is. That is absolutely crazy to see. Big looking better this time around as we enter this downhill section. There's a mistake coming through. It's Bren who's made it into the water reactor section. Granadi leads the way, and Massa has a chance maybe to overtake Muda. Wallbang from all 3 players. We can't disqualify them all, surely.
Well, let's take a look onto Muda here. What will he be? What is he able to gain in the S4D? Does he have more speed? The answer is a yes, and that's what I was talking about. Almost over jumping the ending. What the hell is Muda doing in the end? This guy is just insane on those S4Ds. He gained 0.2. He gained 0.2 in the end.
He came within about half a tenth of the world record there as well. Slightly better opening round to Mutta, who already has taken 1 world record today from Camelback and left the map holding that world record. Could be holding a second one before this map is over. What do Big have in response? This is exactly how Camelback started. They managed to hold Jetlag to a draw, and then Jetlag aced them 3 times in a row.
And look at the start now from Muda here as well. Massa and Granadi chasing him down, but now Bren joining in the mix here as well. This part, very important to get at full speed with a very wide setup beforehand. But now this is the opportunity that Massa and Granadi should not throw away to get an entry back into this match. It's far from being over. They can still bounce back by winning 3 maps in a row, but for that they need to get the ace. You have a wallbang here that I haven't spotted during my preparation, but they have the ace in their hands here. Bren too far behind by the looks of it. Maybe with a good S4D he can take it, but that is a bit too wide by the looks of it. But he has more speed than Granadi, but I don't think the map is long enough. So Massa and Granadi with an ace, and Massa also with a new world record.
There you go. Hey said that Muda might be able to do it. Massa sets the world record instead. Good pace, and Massa was relatively close to hitting his head on the finish line at the end there as well. All players able to carry a lot of speed through that section. And Big, they get an ace back. Finally, a little bit of breathing room for them in this match for the first time in a while.
Yeah, first time since map number 1, I would say, when they got that ace. I think also in round number 2 was where the scoreline was also a 4-1. But they need to do more than that, and in this round it looks good for Granadi. But Massa again, also on map number 1 we had the same. Round number 3 and 4, Massa has made mistakes, did not finish those rounds in particular, but Granadi is now there as well. Granadi can at least force a draw, but Muda not with a good landing here. Massa coming back, it's all in the wallbang by the looks of it if you get it good, but also Muda with the illegal SD in the end. He can really gain a lot of time, but let's focus here on this ending.
Oh, it's so tight between the two of them, but as you said, Muda is a threat right now. He did slide out those wet wheels, catching him, and he's gone. Up front then, this is the battle that it comes down to. Do we get a draw, or is this Big extending their lead? Great line from Granadi, but it's Bren with more speed on the outside. As long as he doesn't bonk his head, he won't. He will cross the line in first place, holds Big to a draw, and so that lead is still at 3. It's still just a jet lag ace away from things being tied back up.
Yeah. So I think that was how map 1 also played out. I think it was also draw, ace, draw.
We're on then identical map 1 track
and
right
then
now.
It was an ace for jet lag afterwards. So let's see if map 1 will repeat itself. Right now this is a much better start for Massa, but Granadi getting a slowdown there by the looks of it, slowing down dramatically, now 0.3 of a second behind. And on a map like this where you really just have to push, there's hardly any obstacle, just lines that you have to drive up to perfection. This outside turn, gather as much speed as possible. Massa almost clipping the hole, and Granadi with that 0.3 might be out of this round, but there's still the wallbang.
There's still the wallbang, there's still the speed drift at the end. How much time can Muda gain? And the answer is not enough, it looks like, because Muda has fallen back, and Bren, meanwhile, has fully fallen out of the round. Massa, though, big slowdown, it looked like, on that wallbang. Granadi actually the big loser on that. I'm still dialing it in. What does it actually look like? Muda is back alongside Massa for the moment, and Muda is automatic on that drift. He gains a car length lead from wheel to wheel into it. It's another PB from Muda. He gets very close to the world record Massa set earlier in the map. And the lead stays at 3 one more time.
Yeah, and also Muda didn't really have the best S4D in the ending, so he had a bit of a wonky approach from what I could have seen. We had a different camera perspective there, but still he was able to hold on to the lead. But also Granadi's wallbang, of course.
Yeah, it looked to me like it was good. The Granadi actually had it cleaner than both the other two, but he was just losing speed out of the exit.
Yeah, so that's just the risk that you take, because like every small angle adjustment or just
it's a water reactor wallbang. It's, I mean, that nightmare scenario.
Nightmare scenario indeed, but Big up to 6 points. But look who's in first and second right now. Bren and Muda already having a gap of 0.1 of a second by the looks of it. Bren with an insane start. We could see another world record that could get beaten here in this round.
Yeah, and brave from Muda there, kept his foot on the gas while Massa released just ever so slightly. And so their closest competitor dropping down just a little bit. Wall bang to go. Granadi lost speed here last time. Massa was able to keep up, and it looks like both players of Big are just slipping a little bit further away from the members of Jetlag. The crowd is already getting excited for it. There's a lot of Bren fans out here, and they are eating good on this round. Jetlag with a clear 1-2 will pick up the world record on the way through, as well as they tie the score up on the map.
6-6, 4 points away of reaching the grand final here for Jetlag. Really just being locked in. don't get affected if they get ace, just bouncing back, trusting in themselves and making it through. So let's go into the next round. Very important round for Big to deny some points to Jetlag, and hopefully for them force a fourth map here in this semi-final as Massa gets a really good start again.
Yeah, I mean, look, we haven't mentioned it yet on this broadcast, but that is former Duos World Champion Bren playing for Jetlag. He's been here before. Act like you know what's going on. Bren certainly does. Massa, his head is spinning as the car spins off track, and all of a sudden Jetlag in a great position to really put the pressure onto Big. Granati the only thing standing in their way right now.
But also Granati bumping there a little bit, doesn't really get the best exit speed, but the wallbang will decide it. Granati gets it good here, but Muda also with a great time, but having to readjust now. Bren coming back, Granati releasing there a little bit, so Bren is going back into the lead. It could be a victory instead of a draw, and yes, this will be the case. Granati with maybe a little bit less speed than Bren, but doesn't get overtaken by Buddha. But look at this, Jetlag up to 8 points. Big, they need to get a victory here in the next round, else it looks dire for them. Of course, a draw would also make it into another round, but then they have
draw
to
is
get
scary.
a victory
Draws
afterwards.
are scary right now for Big. With Jetlag 1 point to the good, sitting on 8 points, they are in position to sweep this opening semi-finals of our live World Cup 2025 in Paris. Jetlagger, not jet-lagged, ironically. They are looking like they've come in with all cylinders firing.
Yeah, they are locked in, and I mean, both players living in Australia. Bren has moved there, I think, last year?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and he has also been very active in streaming, but then just took a break to focus on the World Cup. And that's why we said we don't know the pace, we don't know where the teams are at, and we have seen different lines
but
already.
I mean, hang on, Turbo, because this is Big in a 1-2 at the moment, and if they ace, they win the map outright. They have made it to 7 points. Wallbang to go. Granati's already losing speed. That's a disaster. If Bren or Mutta catch Massa at this point, no, Bren's gone. Bren is gone. Granati back up into third as Massa trying to hold on to the lead. How good is this speed slide from Mutta? Really? Can he gain a 10th and a half on the finish line? It doesn't quite look like it. It came close.
Wow.
He did gain about half a 10th, but the gap just a little bit too big. As Big tie it back up, 9-9. Next round winner will win the map. We are functionally already in overtime.
It's the little overtime. Yeah, that is correct. And also Bren with that mistake, it could have been a draw and the scoreline could have been 8-9 in that way. But whoever wins this round will close out this match or win the map and force map number 4 here. So let's go. Granati with a very wide start. They're trying to collect as much speed as possible. They have a very tricky gear there that you need to avoid in that way. And Granati does it very nicely here. And also, oh, this is so close. I cannot even tell who's in what position. It's back and forth between first and third position here, respectively.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild. And both of these battles will matter because you got to get 1-3 to win this round. Key points coming up. We are looking at that water reactor section with the wallbang, and then our eyes are on that speed drift at the end. And Mutta especially has looked so lethal on that. Bren is still in the mix though. Here's the wallbang. Granati, I think, has lost speed again just a little bit. Bren has gotten all the way up into second place. He overtook both members of Big. Mutta is unstoppable. He's out of sight. He's gone, and Bren is going to fall to Massa, but that does not matter. Granati's here. How close is he? He's close enough. No, he's not. No, he's not. I thought he had him at the finish line. He doesn't quite. 3 maps and we're done, Turbo.
We are done, and I definitely did not expect
my God.
that Granati and Massa just get stomped in this semi-final. Badge, and they do the badge emote.
They do the badge emote, and that's a big one on Mudda's stream. You gotta love the badge emote as well.
Wow.
3-0 in maps, and I will remind you that that last map was exciting. It was tense. Map 2 was 4 rounds long.
Yeah, and map 1 was also just Big falling apart in 1 or 2 of those rounds, sadly. But map 3 was definitely cinema, as you could say.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
10-11 in the end.
Super exciting. Yeah, absolutely. 10-11 is the final score, as you say. 10-1 on the map before that. And then it was a little bit closer on map 1 as well. I mean, information gained, I guess, for whoever has to face Jetlag in the finals. Unfortunately, I think the information is, damn, they look really good on all 3 maps we saw them on.
Especially on map 2 and 3 that we have seen. Very, very consistent. I mean, Camelback.
Camelback was nuts.
Like 0.4s and 0.5s all the way
Just nailed on.
And sadly, with that, Big is out of the competition. They get third, fourth position here in this World Cup. It's single elimination bracket. That's how quickly it can go. And we have another semi-final coming up after that, which will be between Solary and Team Nemesis.
Yeah, hoping for a couple more games in this one, hoping for a couple more maps that we get to see in that. And interesting to see then if the map picks end up being significantly different in our next map as well. Of course, we got Way Down and Ascension banned in the previous match just there. A nice little bit of symmetry there for both teams. You know, the team from the Northern Hemisphere banned Way Down. Oh, we're over into an interview.
And you know how hard it is to care about every details in Trackmania. All in this game, it's all or nothing. So I just want to know something. How do you deal with that pressure in these moments?
Well, I don't really know how to explain it, but the most important thing was to enjoy what we do. And if we do that, everything else comes easily.
Oh, okay, so just enjoy the game?
That's right.
That's right. Are you agree with it?
Yeah, I agree. Having fun is probably the main part. And if you're just enjoying your time, usually you play a bit better. And I guess we just had fun and we played good.
Ok, perfect. I will translate for French spectators. Donc du coup, je leur pose la question tout simplement. Ils viennent de sortir d'un match qui était plutôt aux allures faciles. On l'a senti. C'était assez simple de pouvoir gagner cette game en 3-0. Et je leur demande comment on gère la pression. On sait que Trackmania, c'est un jeu de tout ou rien. C'est un jeu où tous les détails se ressentent. Et ils me disent tout simplement, on va dire, apprécier le jeu, apprécier le moment, vivre l'instant à fond, et ça fonctionne. Et justement, j'ai une question à propos de ça. You say enjoy the game. So do you enjoy the map veto right now? Was it a good veto for you? Can you tell us more about it?
I think we were a bit surprised with the veto.
Oh, okay, it was unexpected.
Yeah, especially with their first ban. We were not expecting them to ban this map. We actually expected them to be really good on that map. So it kind of went our way because they also picked good maps for us. So I think we managed to get good maps that we're confident on, and I mean, it worked for us.
Okay, so you just handle with it.
It also helps that we like all the maps, so it doesn't really matter what order we get.
Oh, okay, that's kind of world. Je vais translate ceci du coup. C'est vrai que justement, je leur pose la question également. Alors, vous appréciez le jeu, certes, mais est-ce que vous avez apprécié le map veto? Et on me répond simplement, on ne s'y attendait pas du tout. C'était une surprise. Le map veto, notamment le premier ban. Et donc derrière, forcément, on a dû tout simplement manager, jouer avec, et ça a plutôt bien fonctionné. Et on me répond juste derrière, tout simplement, nous, on s'en fout de quelle carte on va pouvoir jouer. On va tout simplement les battre dessus. On sent un esprit compétitif chez les Jetlag. Et justement, I have just one last question about it. What are you more proud of in your preparation for this time?
Honestly, just our attitude towards it. Like, in past years, we both have had like issues with maps, and we get tilted and just really annoyed. But this time, we really just sat down, figured it out, and eventually it grew on us.
So it's all about mental?
Yeah, I think mental matters. We had fun from the day one pretty much on the maps. I don't think there's any map that I really dislike anyways. So that's already a big help when you want to practice for a month. And yeah, honestly, it all comes down to just having a good time while playing, but also while practicing. And I think the dynamic we had was really good during the month. Muda did his thing, I did my thing. We kind of talked to figure out good things, and it worked out. So yeah, that's it.
All about communication. Thank you guys. Et donc du coup, j'avais une dernière question justement à ce sujet-là, au sujet du match et plus spécifiquement de la préparation de cette équipe. Je leur pose la question tout simplement, quelle est la chose dont vous êtes le plus fier dans votre préparation? Et on me répond assez simplement, on est content d'avoir fixé les problèmes qui étaient là, notamment à propos de la communication et du tilt. On avait l'habitude parfois de tilt sur certaines cartes et finalement désormais ce n'est plus le cas. Tout est une question de mental. And so I have just one last question, last but not least. For you, who's gonna take the second slot in the final?
I mean, both teams are really, really good and competitive.
Really?
It's hard to tell which maps they're going to play as well. If I have to go with someone, I guess maybe Puff Bros, just for the history of, you know, Carl Jr. and Pac. But I'm sure both Mime and Paco are just insanely good, so it's going to be a good match.
Okay, so for their history, and you? Who's gonna take the second slot?
I say Puff Bros / Solary. They just very experienced. They know how to play on stage. They played together for a long time. I expect that'll come out on top today.
With Carl. Ok, so we saw that. Et du coup, je leur pose la dernière question justement. Qui pour vous va pouvoir récupérer le second slot dans cette finale? Et on me répond évidemment des joueurs d'expérience. Solary contre Nemesis, du coup, vous l'avez compris. C'est ce qui va pouvoir suivre dans un court instant. Thank you so much, guys, for this interview. Take care and we see you in the grand final. Vous pouvez les applaudir peut-être une dernière fois, leur montrer l'accueil chaleureux à la française. And now, let's get back to the cast. Nous sommes de retour avec nos casters pour donc la seconde demi-finale.
And we are back. Yeah, interesting talking points there from Muda and Bran in that one, because we didn't know where the teams were, and them saying the maps that Big picked were in our favor. They were not expecting the ban. I was maybe expecting it.
I thought that was really interesting because, as you said, that is a map that really kind of punishes Cam 1 a little bit. And for that reason, Massa being a noted Cam 1 player, that you were expecting Big maybe not to play it. So failure of research for Jetlag just there, but a failure of research that went really well.
Maybe I was only lucky in that way. Maybe that was just the wrong call. Who knows that? I don't know.
The more I practice, the luckier I get, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you get it correct, then it doesn't matter. That was a very quick semi-final.
It was.
We are setting up already. Players are on stage for our second semi-final. A little bit of a replay first of all some of the emotions that were going on in that first semi-final. Bren looked incredibly locked in the entire way through. I mean, compared to what we're going to see in this second match, not a single smile it felt like was cracked in our first semi-final.
And also what they have said, they both really grew together as a duo, really trying to play to the style of a player, also to the practice style of a player, just trying to figure it out. Maybe not playing together that much, but just exchanging, having fun at the game and not trying to burn out, because this can really happen quickly in this kind of scenario where you just play and over practice for a tournament, and they can see the winning moment again. It was 11-10 on the last map, both being very happy about it, and we have our first grand finalist team locked in. Team Jetlag it is, but who will be the second team joining them? It is Puffbro / Team Solary by Carl Jr. and Pack versus Team Nemesis, Pushito Paco and Mime. Will it be another 3-0?
It's hard to bet against Solary in this match. It is. As much as, we've talked about Nemesis already today, as much as I like both of these players, they're both lovely guys. They're both really, really talented Trackmania players. They both put in a ton of effort. They're not Pack and Carl Jr. And that's no shade to anyone involved. It's just that Pack and Carl Jr. I mean, you have Carl Jr., 6-time world champion, looking for his 7th this year. You have Pack, who won back in 2016. And even then, despite the fact that Carl has been winning every world championship, Pack has not missed a live Worlds event since that time. I mean, he's on a run of 8 or 9 or something at this point. We were trying to do the maths and it got complicated.
Carl even more, but of course.
Carl even more, but you expect
Carl
that.
Jr., yeah.
But it's these guys, when there has been top-level Trackmania competition for the last decade, Solary, these two players, Pack and Carl Jr., have been there. And Nemesis are really good. They've gotten more stage experience this year. They played at Comic-Con Baltics where they were the runners-up. I think that was wonderful for them as a duo. Paco in particular, getting more stage experience is great in terms of settling the nerves in these competitions. But again, it's not a decade of stage experience, right? It's just so hard to bet against Solary in this match, Turbo.
The 18-year-old Pushito Paco with his second World Cup appearance. He was there last year as well. And I could really say that he felt the pressure on that match. He did not really live up to the expectations that we had also from online events leading to this event. We had the global ranking. He was second, I think, behind Binks it was there. And he dominated so many top-tier events where he just took home casually first position. It looked very good from him. Also in this year he played well. He had a lot of good results in those matches, but they were not that active. Global Playoffs 2, of course, was the pinnacle for them. They played out of their mind against Boca. But then Paco, who's maybe a bit nervous, has a teammate who is stone cold in those matches.
Absolutely.
Mime, runner-up in the World Cup of 2022, just behind Carl Jr. He had the shot of winning it, actually, in that way. He was very good in this match. He could have dethroned Carl Jr. Can he do it today in the semi-final and then move into the grand final? Paco, very fast. Mime, maybe a bit more consistent than being fast. But then Carl Jr. and Pac, as you said, insane stage experience. But that's the battle. The old versus the new generation kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it almost feels funny to call Mime part of the new generation still.
But kind of.
But compared to Pac and Carl Jr., yeah, absolutely. I mean, joined Grand League not that long ago in the grand scheme of things compared to these two who were there from the start and the precursors to Grand League before that even kicked off in 2017, 2018 when it really began. It's going to be very interesting. I will say one of the kind of bigger stories for me in all 4 of these players, one of the biggest stories, I would rather say, is Paco and his improvement this year, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure. And that was one of the things that we talked about a lot at the start of the year when he teamed up with Mime, was having that solid presence alongside him, because Paco last year was an excellent player again, as you said, did very well in a lot of tournaments, especially online tournaments, but did have a tendency to sometimes struggle a little bit when the pressure was high against players who had huge amounts of experience and things.
But this year?
This year. I'm Paco 1 year ago, and even if he's alongside Mime, I don't think makes it through the dogfight that we had in Europe to claim one of these 4 spots. Paco this year kept his head, had Mime alongside him, drove well enough to be in the top 4 teams in the world for this live finals. And I just have to say, I'm so impressed whenever we see that level of growth from a player, when they manage to work on something that has been plaguing them at times.
And he's 18.
And he's 18.
Like when he was 16, I still remember, I think it was on Twisted or any other like tech map, or it was like that. He just drove world records in matches.
Yeah.
And we have seen that as well doing global playoffs too, where he just drove world records casually. I think there was one time that he has beaten by 0.2 of a second. It was just insane. And here we can also now not see the teams just yet. They're just hyping up. I thought the teams are coming in, but I'm sadly not able to comprehend that much French. So
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to guess from the sounds of shouting over our shoulders what's going on, as the trophy is, if I turn slightly, you can see the trophy as a beautiful blur in the background just there.
You can hide it if you do,
yeah,
if you do that.
But to finish off on the point as you were making, part of it, you know, is that stage experience for Paco, was that tendency to maybe struggle a little bit in competition when the pressure really got high. You're right, he was 17, he was 16. It's not that it's unfair to mention it, but he has seen that growth both as a person and as a player as a result of growing up a little bit as well. And I mean, seeing the competitor he is now, he is formidable, and it's going to be around for hopefully many years to come as well.
But on the other hand, you had a player by the name of Gwen, who was just a complete psycho and did not feel any pressure. I would put them almost in the same skill range. Maybe Gwen being just even much faster, but of course Paco also finds cuts on track of the days and stuff like that, right? He's a very smart and fast player, but it seems like that the head is getting to him when he plays. Sometimes a bit more than it was the case for Gwen, who's not that active, if even active anymore.
Yeah, haven't seen him around much recently, unfortunately, because Gwen was always very fun to watch. One of those players who, kind of similar to Binks, would show up to tournaments having not really bothered to learn the maps in advance, and so you got to see them slowly learn over the course of competition as well. We are getting ready shortly to head over to the player entrances. We've talked a lot about Team Nemesis. We will be doing a lot of talking about Team Solary once we get into match as well. How they, as a duo, during our previous duo format, really were one of the teams that kind of led the way, trailblazed in terms of how to approach the format. And it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out in this finals, the second ever Duo World Cup for Trackmania, and if Solary are approaching it the same way as they did previously.
And I mean, at this point, the defending duo world champion is, of course,
already waiting in the grand final.
Waiting already, not alongside Otak this time around.
Unfortunately.
But it is Bren and Muda who really grew together, and I think Jetlag is also a great pickup. But here we now have the teams coming onto the stage. It is Team Nemesis by the name of Pushito Paco and Mime versus Carl Jr. and Pack. So here we go. Good luck. Will it be another 3-0? I hope not.
Woo. The purple and white for Team Nemesis. Those jerseys are clean. Solary in their blue and yellow with the white. And it is looking good, as Pack nearly walks away without fist bumping Mime, but does remember to go back for him. Good sportsmanship, good sportsmanship. Well done, Pack. It's going to get very confusing, and we will apologize for it in advance. Of course, Pack versus Paco is something you're going to have to listen closely to the call outs for. And then, of course, Mime and Carl Jr., the last two players in this grand final. I am so excited. This is one of those matches that I've been looking forward to all week long, all month long, ever since we kind of knew which teams were going to the World Cup.
Same.
It's going to be great. I mean, so many of these players know each other. Paco in particular, we've talked about him a lot already, is by far the youngest player at this World Cup finals at the moment, is also the only real new generation player as well.
Keep that in mind. He's born in 2007.
Yeah.
2007. I started playing Trackmania in 2009.
Yeah.
Paco was 2 back then.
That's wild.
So what did I do wrong that I don't play there?
Where did your career all fall apart, Turbo?
Well, now I'm here.
Well, if anyone wants to figure it out, you can watch Turbo's stream, and it will become very evident very quickly why he's not playing in a World Cup.
Hey.
No, it's fine. Players are doing their final adjustments on stage. Let's talk a little bit about Solary, because we've done a lot of yapping about Team Nemesis already at this point. Solary almost don't need introduction if you have watched any Trackmania esports over the last, again, decade or so of competition. Pac has been there at the top for so long, has been a competitor who has been really the only good UK player for about a decade. It felt like there is no longer the case. Is definitely no longer the case. Yeah. Now EPOS has showed up, there's some more talent coming through, but Pac stood alone as really the light of the UK scene for a very long time. And similar story for Carl Jr., who was the North American player, was the guy. There was nobody else from North America. He was showing up from Canada, beating all the Europeans, and then heading back off to the frozen north. And you're kind of saying like, well, fair enough. There is, again, a growing North American scene. It's been great to see this year with the World Tour. You know, some players trying to really push Pac and Carl. They struggled because Pac and Carl are really good, but there has been some good players coming out of the region as a whole now, which is great to see. But these two players, similar stories in that sense. They have been for a long time the guy from their region. They've played together in the previous Duo Cup as well, and here they are now back in a semi-final looking for another finals appearance.
Also both being, of course, very close friends. That also really helps. Spam is there as the manager, content creator, helper,
general hype man.
You know, I mean, both are not that good with the editor. That's what my assumption was, because there was some memeing going around in the chat. Spam really, I think in his video he said he spent 20 to 25 hours to build part maps. So Spam, also like, if they're world champions, would you say the manager can also call themselves like world champions? Because I would say so, because Spam really helped them in that way.
We're setting a dangerous precedence just here.
Yeah, okay.
It's a danger. There's a few managers floating around right now.
I already see the virtual title, like how I accidentally became world champion.
Hey, he did play in one of those regionals, unfortunately the one where they lost to Mahi, but you know, he did play at one point for Team Jetlag this year. Yeah, it's been great seeing Spam's involvement. I mean, it's been a really fun team to watch. We've seen Carl and Pac especially streaming more over the last year.
True, very
which
cool.
has been really
especially
exciting.
Pac, right? Also hitting Twitch partner this year, I guess. Yeah, so that's very cool.
He didn't know how to work OBS when the year started, but he has figured out broadcasting software since then.
He knows where the go live button is.
He knows where the go live button is, and that's really, isn't that the main thing? It has been super fun to watch and to get to know these players more, because not that they were enigmas, especially if you were a part of the competitive scene, but it's been a year where we've gotten to see a lot more, it feels like, of a lot of our top players. Of the 8 players that we have attending today, I think we have, what, like 6 who stream regularly?
Yeah, maybe even 7.
Maybe even 7. Is Paco maybe the only one who doesn't?
Paco's the only one who might, or maybe Massa as well, not streaming. Carl Jr. maybe not as well.
Yeah.
Mime also streams sometimes. It goes in the same range, but all of them have been, except Paco, have been like very active on Twitch at some point.
Yes, exactly.
Let's say like that, especially Granadi, probably the most active in there.
Yeah.
So still, like, he uploaded video yesterday, so he has his editors on there, also 50,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So that speaks for itself, being very successful with that. And I just hope that they are not too disappointed by their performance, just to bounce back into semi-final 1 as well, because playing a match for just 30 minutes that you practice for like 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 hours for can be disappointing and
very disappointing. We'll hope for both of the teams in this second semi-final, and of course for you, our lovely viewers at home, that this second semi-final goes a little bit longer, that we see a little bit more competition. Maybe one team won't just win 3 maps. That'd be nice. I'd be a fan of that, as we are getting closer to game time here. Players are just making sure that they get their final checks in, and we are live into our picks and bans, and Solary will just ban way down as well. It will get taken off the table immediately.
Yeah, maybe just
Ascension as well.
Well, I want to leave way down in Ascension again. Air control. Wait, pick?
No, that's the ban.
Okay,
that's the ban. But Team Nemesis are now picking.
It's the ban pick. Okay, so air control as a ban. I mean, Paco and Mime didn't look that bad on this map. All things considered, but air control is the ban, and we see Iceberg as the first map being picked by Nemesis as well. Of course, now we have Solary with 2 picks back-to-back. And let's see what the map is going to be. I mean, we still have Camelback in there, which was also map number 2 in the semi-final beforehand. So that will also be map number 2 here. I mean, a bit more of a normal map would also maybe be Viper Line, a map that I could think of, that is a bit more just fast-paced. Ascension, I don't know if it will be picked. Maybe it will be opened up until the ending, or will be picked by Nemesis, because Mime had a very good time on this map. Of course, he clipped the the pool on the inside, the reactor boost pool at the start.
Yeah.
But he got a really good run on that map. So let's see what map number 3 is going to be.
They are thinking about it. This is the longest we've seen any team take over a pick so far today. And Solary are trying to make sure that it's okay because, I mean, yeah, we saw in the last match, map can be over in 3 maps if you do not get it right. It'll be nostalgia. So very similar to how things went in match 1. It did not work out for the blue team in that match when they picked Camelback and Nostalgia second and third. We'll see if it goes any better for Solary. Ascension is the 4th pick very quickly from Nemesis, and that does mean Viperline will fall to 5th place again. 2nd time in a row that Viperline has not been banned, but neither team has actually chosen to pick it. It's just fallen to 5th map by default.
So Iceberg maybe being the only surprise in this match, and also Air Control being the ban for Team Nemesis in this match.
Yeah.
So that's maybe their card to be like, okay, we apply pressure, we take map 1 home from you. So on this map we have a lot of unique ways of how to put bobsleigh blocks. You have jumps out, you have the turnaround in the end, we have to tap the brake beforehand. We have just a wood landing with reactor boost. We have to almost angle your car 90 degrees to get into the turn because wood is very grippy. A lot of things going on this map, and we start here with another best of 5. First to 3 map wins will take it home.
First to 3, it feels so little in that context as well, as you said, of how many hundreds of hours have been poured collectively into these maps by the players. It could be 3 and out, you could be done in 30 minutes and join big on the way home. We'll hope for it not to go that way. We're live, Solary versus Team Nemesis, Iceberg for the first time today.
Yeah, and hopefully not for the last time. I really like this map, but it's also like if you make a mistake, you're having to respawn, especially here. If you jump too low and you don't get this part correctly, well, you're just having to go back to the checkpoint. So far, Pack getting a really good start here into this corner. Also here, want to steer a bit to the right before and to get a clean landing and also make sure that this transition works out accordingly. Pack loses control of Paco and Mime going into the lead, having a commanding lead into round number 1.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a strange map. There is time to gain all over this track. You can absolutely have big swings on the way through. Mime and Paco both getting a really solid nose down just there, extending the lead just a little bit away from Pac. The landing from Paco, scary. He was close to the edge, but still plenty of space. He is holding on. That's not a great entry to that bobsleigh from Paco, losing a little bit of speed with those wobbles up and down the wall. Pac overtaking for 2nd place.
Now the turnaround will decide though. Now tapping the brake, Pack failing it, losing a bit of time, but will still stay ahead of Pushy to Paco. Actually gained a bit of time there with a very good turnaround. Just over tilting his car to slow down, but it is Mime and Paco getting the ace. Not the cross, it's the victory instead due to a good ending there from Pack. And that's going to round number 2. Still a very good map for Nemesis.
Yeah.
Just if we take the first round result into account.
We saw very few just standard wins in our first match of the day. We saw a lot of aces, we saw a lot of draws, we saw very few wins with a 1-3 position for one of the teams. That's how we kick things off. Nemesis managing to hold on in that last round. Carl came very close to Paco at the end as well, it has to be said. And they are close again on track, but it is Carl who has the slight advantage. So low from Paco. He's got a nose in front to Carl off 1 quarter pipe jump. Can he clean up this bobsleigh? It was a little bit awkward last time around. He's wobbly again, but so was Carl. Speed is good from Carl Jr. He lands a little bit further right, but Paco accelerating away out of that turn.
Yeah, very good entry here from Carl, coming a bit closer to Paco again, but the last turn will decide it. A little bit of a release timing here is required. Paco has more speed, but the ending looks so good from Solary. What will be the line again? Carl angling to the left, getting the checkpoint so early, and this line is really the make it or break it here. They barely get the checkpoint, but it seems to be a consistent approach for Carl Jr. and Pac. Paco and Mime maybe have activated a trap card from Solary, but the start just looks so good from Team Nemesis.
Yeah, at the start, as you say, from Nemesis, and then kind of the further we get into the map, the more these obstacles are posing challenges for them. We saw that final bobsleigh turn a couple of times now. Paco, he's not gotten it wrong, he's just lost a little bit of speed over whatever Solary you're able to bring to that corner as well. And then, of course, that ending. We are seeing half a tenth to a tenth gain, it feels like, for Solary in that final turnaround as well. And when you're in close rounds as close as these have been, that is absolutely huge. This jump in particular working out well for Nemesis, but Pack is catching back up to Mime at the front, and Mime under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, also Mime not air braking there to just accelerate earlier, getting a clean landing into that. But look at this, there's a close battle for first and third position here respectively. Carl going so inside there, really trying to apply as much pressure as possible. But let's see how the ending will look like for Carl Jr., who goes very inside there, having less speed. But of course you don't need the speed for the ending. Mime clipping, and it will be Carl and Pack winning this round and getting the ace. No, it is Pack with a mistake. We have not seen what happened there, but it's also a new world record by Carl Jr. But another victory, this time in favor for Stollery again.
Very funny how you just get jump scared by the finishing positions on this map.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, what happened? Pack lost 4/10 in the end just there. Paco holds on to second place. It looked like it should have been the ace for Solary. Will that come back to haunt them later in the track? That could well have been a 3-point lead to them.
But also this very inside approach from Carl Jr. on that last part.
Fascinating.
I think it's very good because you have to slow down anyway.
Yeah.
And if you slow down so much by barely getting the checkpoint, having a good setup for that part, I think it's very smart. And there you can see that the part maps come into play in this exact sector.
Yeah, absolutely. Pack is so low, kissing the edge of the ramp with that one. We saw it go well for Paco a couple of rounds ago. It's gone really well for Pack on this round. Once again, it's a 1-2 for Carl and Pack, but through that bobsleigh, Nemesis are looking quick as they just accelerate their way into it. This final bobsleigh has maybe gone Solary's way a little bit in previous rounds, but it is speed for Paco and Mime. The inside line, Carl not really going for it this time around as Mime has moved past Pack through these final couple of turns. See how this turnaround goes for them. It's so low for Solary. Mime will hold on to second place though as Carl goes for a 106.13, re-upping the world record.
Yeah, I don't know what Carl is doing, but he is just insanely fast here. As Paco does not finish, maybe wanted to practice the anti a little bit, as we have already seen another world record beforehand. I think it was also from Carl Jr. in that round, and on this map, the world record before was at .271 by Nyko, who has also tried to play this map a little bit. And now we see Pack with a respawn, and Paco and Mime first and second. Carl also quite far behind. This is Nemesis' shot. They only maybe have this shot in this match to get the ace.
I mean, aces are so powerful in this format. Can turn a match on its head, and in this case it most definitely would do so. Nemesis are gonna struggle all of a sudden. Paco, he's limping his way up that hill. He's gonna have to double respawn. He is way down the track right now. And that means Carl just behind. Pack is 7 seconds behind. If there's more mistakes from Pack, we may end up seeing just 2 players finish. If only 2 players finish, it goes in the books as a round win for the player who comes first. Paco is double respawning again. I think he's done. He's not going to finish. So it's up to Pack to try and make sure he gets across the line in time. It's up to Mime to make sure he makes no mistakes through this finish. Doesn't look like he has. He will survive. It looks like it should be a solid finish. That's another respawn for Pack. So we do have 2 players finished. If Pack does not finish, this is a round win.
He doesn't finish because he's more than 10 seconds behind. It will not be enough.
Double respawn to try it. Yeah, that's a round win for Team Nemesis as a result.
That was so important there for Nemesis to get that victory across here in this round. It's 8-7 with that. And well, I mean, also on the other hand, I was like, okay, Paco, maybe just stay ahead of Pack in that round. Don't make another mistake. Don't pull it. Don't do it.
But the double respawn was so brutal. He was so far down as soon as that happened.
It could have been an ace, though.
It could have been. Hey, you never want to use the word should have been an ace because Trackmania, anything can and probably will happen, to steal quotes from Murray Walker over in F1. This was the area the mistakes happened in last time around. Paco very clean this time around, so low on his quarter pipe jump. Mime, kind of the big loser through that jump though, was very high on it and has dropped back to 4th place by a couple of tenths.
Yeah, and now Paco having a commanding lead here. Also good approach there. Mime going very aggressive on the inside, almost hitting it there. But the exit is just, the apex from the exit is just not it.
No.
And also Carl and Pack now overtaking, pushing to Paco, who needs to do something magical in the end because he's 0.2 behind Carl and Pack. They looked very good in the ending. And here again, oversteer movement, and they go into the ending at 1st and 2nd. And also Pack with a new PB. It is 11-7, and just seeing that maybe this was the trap card from Nemesis being played. Solary still taking home that map. 11-7. Nemesis already dropping their first map pick.
That is definitely the worry right now, is that was a relatively close map, but ultimately Solary felt kind of in control by the time we got to the end of it. And now we moved to 2 maps in a row that Solary have picked for themselves. And there is definitely different schools of thoughts when it comes to how you approach a pick ban in this type of format for these players. You know, some players want to make sure that if you go to map 4 or map 5, you have a map that you're very confident on. Some players are just going to try and close it out in 3 and say, let's stack our good maps at the start and see how it goes. And I'll be honest, I'm worried for Nemesis because I could definitely see Solary approaching this match with that mindset of let's try and get it done in 3. Here's our 2 best maps. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, and I mean, even if they have that, you still have the ban on a map that you might not feel that comfortable on, and you still have prepared the other like 2 maps that will be coming up afterwards. But here we go onto Camelback for the 2nd time in this morning here, live from the Paris Games Week in the Dôme de Paris. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Was that okay?
That sounded okay to me, a non-French speaker.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the start the Team Nemesis would have wanted. We can only distract with it from terrible fronts. Oh my lord, that sentence was butchered. We can only distract from this poor start for Nemesis on Camelback with poor French pronunciation for so long before we got to talk about it. It went poorly from the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, and look at this pack so far. Yeah, let's see the pace though, because we have seen if Solary makes it into the final, of course Peck might be saving a bit more here in this round. Yeah. But we have seen Jetlag driving 0.4s and 0.5s in every round that we have seen them play against Big. So let's see what they drive in this round here. Pack in the lead, Call behind, and it will be a casual 0.8. So he was indeed saving it there, not really risking it too much. And that's definitely times that could get beaten by Paco and Mime, but both of them with individual mistakes. And Solary already setting themselves up nicely for their 2nd map win. Yeah, that's an ace. I'm especially, very different lines at the start. Was that deliberate? I don't think so. He's gone. What has happened to Paco just there? He's an interesting, he's still here? What was the line? What happened just there? Okay. What did I witness? I'm gonna need answers. Somebody will get that replay later for me, I have no doubt. But we have a close round, and what I wanted to talk about is the lines that are taken through the identity at the end here in particular, because that was where Team Jetlag was doing absolutely stellar work in the previous match. And it looked a little bit looser from Solary in that previous round, but they were under no pressure. How do they do when they're in tight rounds just now is the question. Yeah, Mime is on 2nd place right now, only 0.15 behind, and Carl is also getting a lot of pressure applied onto him. But yeah, we have seen great lines here. Now Pac is the one falling behind there, cannot answer the call. But what is Paco doing here? They need to deny some points towards Carl Jr. and Pac here, else this match will be over very quickly. But this line looks very good here, really gaining time to Mime, who just drives the 0.8, not that fast still. And it's a draw that is heavily advantageous again towards Solary, who got that ace in round number 1, 4-1. And what is that line from Paco?
It's crazy.
I think that's intentional, but he goes so wide. He wants to get more speed by the looks of it, but he loses 0.4 by going extremely wide. But look here at the checkpoint.
But he comes back.
But only by a bit. Maybe it's just he doesn't find consistency. Maybe he gets the fragile. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to have to try and stay on board with Pac for the start of the next round. With Paco at the start of the next round, hopefully. But with everything that's going on in this map so far, I think you do have to look at the times overall. Some view towards whichever these team goes towards the final, where there are no bans available, and they are not really approaching those nailed-on 104s, 105s that were happening repeatedly for Jetlag. Another bite at the apple for Team Solary, another chance to try and set that pace. Oh, Pac, again,
that's a mistake from Pac. And that exact checkpoint, that exact sector is really one that I would highlight as being key for Jetlag, where they were gaining a 10th or 2 on that specific hump of the camel. It's really close at the finish line in this round, though, as Mime tries to get there. Loses the round by 3,000ths to Carl Jr., and so Solary hold on to their 3-point lead. This could have really been the round where Nemesis builds up momentum if they get that victory across, as we still see Paco
for that line there. So it is very interesting to see that he's 0.5 behind in that round here. Also Mime really struggling with that start sector. He has Carl and Pack finding themselves in the lead yet again. As I said, this could have been the round where they build up momentum, but right now this is not happening. Mime was 3,000s behind, and Solary is really asserting dominance here again, but Mime coming back here. Mime in the mix for top 1.
It's all on Mime right
his
now.
teammate.
Yeah, Postito Paco is a little ways down. He's still here, but he is down by a few tenths, and Mime's down by more than a few tenths right now. Huge clip on the inside, on the exit from the wood on that sector. We saw a mistake from Pack on this uphill last time around. There will be no mistake on this round. With a little bit of breathing room, Solary are looking to carry this 1-2 hand in hand all the way to the finish line as they will move to 8 points. They will move to map point. That's a jump from Pack. He's gonna finish.
Wow,
it
what a
got
great
close
save.
at the end. Yeah, great save, as you say, but when he was driving across the grass up there,
so
I
risky.
was getting nervous.
But that was the correct line from Pack to take there in this moment.
Instead of trying to really weave back to the tarmac.
Yeah, and I hope we can see that line from Paco in the next round still. And as I think Geek is responsible for the camera, so sad we cannot influence that here on the English
I'm gonna start
broadcast.
throwing stuff at him. He's only a full stage away from me.
Well, that's like roughly 30 meters.
I could make it.
You could make it?
I could make it.
Are you a good thrower?
No.
Let's see how good Solary is able to throw or not, because they're in the head 82 right now and in first and second position, as you can see here. Will they throw or not?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Solary are very good at throwing
Well,
either.
it was a good transition, I would say.
It was a good transition, yeah, a good segue back into the match where Solary are doing the opposite of throwing. They are, in fact, locking in on this final round. That line from Paco will have to live in mystery because I think this is our final round of the map. Solary looking to take another ace. Solary looking to take the map 11-2, and we are seeing a continuation of domination by a winning team on map 2.
Finally, there's the point.
There's a world record from Carl Jr., proving that they can do it in the final round, even if they didn't need to.
But still, I mean, Solary didn't really have to push it on this map because Nemesis were just driving 101s, and also I really have to say it, unconventional start line from pushing to Paco.
I want to know what was going on.
I really have to talk to Paco about
we're
that.
cornering him later for sure.
Yeah, like, what did he do? Why did he do that?
What was happening? Absolutely.
Yeah, but now we go to Nostalgia again. World record from Bren, who's already in the grand final. It could be an El Clasico. I mean, just changing Otak with Muda in that way for the grand final. We know how the grand final panned out in 2023. What will happen this time around, but so far the match is not over. Nemesis can still win 3 maps in a row, but I think it will be very hard against a calm and collected team Solary.
Yeah, and I would like to remind everyone that with the way things are going at the moment, a lot of the conversation this year surrounding World Tour has been, wow, isn't Europe so good? We are currently nailed on for an NA versus, Oceania finals.
Actually true, it's crazy if you think about that, but also, the best players in the world, considered the best players by the name of Carl Jr. and Pack, are just having that regions to their name.
Hang on, wall bounce? Are we going to see the wall bounce from these teams as well? It's going to be a very interesting question, especially heading towards the grand finals for both of these teams. Heading to that section, it is going to be there for Solary. Nemesis don't have it, and that's a huge loss of speed for Mime then compared to both players from Solary heading towards this final speed drift. He needs to absolutely nail
Pack
this one.
Go for it.
Pack doesn't even go for the speed drift. Carl doesn't go for it. Mime was going for it on the outside, but he doesn't have the speed, and so it will be an ace to kick things off for Solary.
And still a 0.7 there from Carl Jr. and Pack.
Yeah.
And seeing this line advantage, going for the wallbang, this might be almost the last nail.
Safety, that they're not going for that speed drift around the final corner. I mean, you lose a little bit of theoretical speed.
But they still do the wallbang, which gains you.
But they still do the wallbang.
You have seen how much time it really gained you. And this might be one of the last chances that Nemesis gets here. It is the last chance. This map, they have to win it.
They have to reverse sweep if they want to get through. It's do or die time, and right now they are sitting 1-2, right? This is the position you want to be in for Team Nemesis. They're up by a couple of tenths. The problem is we we know waiting in the back half of the track is that wallbang, which will just gain Solary a couple of tenths if they can execute properly. So this lead is not safe. It's especially not safe as Mime starts to fall back into the clutches of the cars in blue. Great downhill from Mime, though. He gains a lot of speed. Pack has lost a little bit of it. There's a touch. He has reactor, so he'll keep going, but Mime falling behind. It's a little bit slow from Carl, but he will start to accelerate up behind Paco at the moment. Paco just gotta hold on for first place. You cannot afford to give up another race. No speed slides from the cars in blue. Paco will hold on to his lead. He's aimed correctly, and he will cross the line in first place. It's a draw. Nemesis maintain that gap. They're only 3 behind.
And there you can see how hard this S4D, that's how it's called, is. You tap the brake because you cannot trigger the drift from any object or being above a certain speed limit. It is very hard. Paco, I think, gained like 1 to 2 kilometers there.
Yeah.
But in this round, he has to do it again on its own. Mime with a mistake, being 2.5 seconds behind, but also Pac clipping there. So it is between Carl Jr. and Pushito Paco in first and second. And the gaps are quite big here in this round already.
The young player, 18-year-old Paco, currently running away from arguably, maybe even inarguably, the 2 most experienced players we have remaining in Trackmania esports in the year 2025. And Paco is taking them on, and Paco is winning. He won the last round. He's in first place by a distance in this second round as well, looking to keep Team Nemesis alive in the World Cup semi-final right now. And he just got to get around the finish
as well.
I think it's going to be a solid time. I think he's, barring anything crazy right now, full miss aim on this final jump. He should have held on to this lead one more time. It's going to be another draw. He's very far left. He will pick onto a 104.6, a PB for Pushito Paco, and huge performance as Mime rolls his way into the finish.
Yeah, so Paco is there on this map.
Yeah.
But where's Mime? Mime really has to do something here in those rounds. I think he got last in almost all of those rounds, maybe third in round number 1.
Yeah.
But Paco was there in round number 2. He was there in round number 3.
Yeah.
But
my mind goes back to Comic Con Baltics, Turbo, when we saw Team Nemesis take the runner-up position in that as well. And it was one of the issues that was kind of plaguing them in that final as well, that they were taking it in turns to be absolutely God mode, where they were taking it in turns to win rounds while the other one was crashing out. And unfortunately, when you have a teammate in 4th place in this duos format, it is very hard to pick up points. Conversely, if you have a teammate in 1st place, it's very hard to lose a round. In fact, you can't. But right now with Pac and Carl Jr. in 1st and 2nd place, it's up to Paco to get something done. Wall bang to go. Expect to see Carl maybe gain a little bit of time if he can nail that against Paco in this final sector.
but again,
Paco is doing the S for D at the end, but that won't matter. That was the wrong wall bang from Pushito Paco, an unintended wall bang from Pushito Paco. Mime swerving across the dirt, and Pac and Carl Jr., they're going to move to 8 points. They're going to move to match point. They are looking to set up their appearance in the grand finals already.
and you know what? It seems like Pac and Carl Jr., they have so much more potential on those maps.
Yeah.
It seems like they're not even showing their full potential here.
Yep.
This is very scary. They don't go for the S4D in the ending. They 100% have to go for that one against Muda and Bren, who did it on this map. Bren has the world record on this one. Also on the map from before, and Camelback. We have seen the pace was somewhat there, maybe in the last round, but they were not really excelling themselves up into the lead and just destroying their opponents in that way. They just took it safe and easy. And also in this round, it's only a 1st and 3rd position that is needed.
Yeah.
And right now, Carl is having a very comfortable lead in this round.
I mean, frankly, we're at a point of this map where Nemesis can't afford anything except an ace. They can give away one, kind of round win where they get a 1st and 3rd, but if they do that twice, they've already lost. They need to start getting aces. Now would be a great time to do it, but Carl is still out in front, and Carl is going for that wallbang, so he extends his lead. Pac overtaking Mime, Pac overtaking Paco. Solary looking to close it out with an ace. They will not S for D around this final corner, so maybe there's room for Paco to snipe one, but he will not get 2. He's already celebrating. That was a new world record, I think, by the way, from Carl Jr. And Solary will move on to the grand finals to face Jetlag.
And it looked so easy for them.
Straightforward.
Pac just fist bumping Carl Jr. there in the ending, knowing that they have taken it, and that was an insane performance. Paco and Mime really tried. They played really well in this match, but it's so hard to beat Carl Jr., who's called the faker of Trackmania, not for a reason, right?
Yep.
It's crazy. So absolutely insane performance, and also you can see that all players are friends, and they just getting the GG. The sportsmanship is in there, and we are ready for an interview here as well. We have our grand finalists. It is Carl Jr. and Pack versus Moda and Bren.
Yep.
Et nous sommes avec Parl et Carl Junior qui viennent de remporter cette game absolument divine dans un 3-0. C'était magnifique. Merci infiniment pour votre tonnerre d'applaudissements. Thank you guys for coming in this interview and congratulations for this match. It was really insane. What was the key of this match? What was the winning condition for you? How do you manage to win this game?
Helps to know the strategies on the tracks. The lines helps. And then obviously having this guy on the team keeping me in it. I mean, yeah, Carl stepped up on map 1 when I was struggling, and then we both built into the match and just got into comfort zone, really.
Also for you, Carl?
Yeah, exactly that. Thank you, Tom.
Merci beaucoup Tom du coup pour la réponse. Vous l'avez compris, je lui pose tout simplement la question. Quelle est la win condition de ce match? Qu'est-ce qui leur a permis de le remporter? Il nous dit tout simplement le fait de garder le mental, de pouvoir aussi conserver également l'axe de progression. On l'a vu, la game 1 c'était un petit peu struggle, mais derrière forcément on a réussi à arrêter de trembler et à pouvoir conclure les games 2 et 3 de la bonne façon. And also you keep winning again and again, and that's really impressive. So what keeps you sharp and confident? And also as a team, how do you manage to maintain the momentum?
It's all in our training. We need to train every day to maintain our level, and that's what we did. And well, we'll try to do very well in the final. Yeah, one more step to go.
What was the best progression for you? What is the key thing that you really improved on it?
Speed slides.
Oh, what to say?
Speed slides.
Speak slides. Ok. Donc du coup, je lui pose tout simplement la question cette fois-ci. Alors celle-là, elle m'a bien fait rire. Je lui pose la question justement, quel est pour toi le meilleur arc de progression, mais également comment avez-vous fait pour maintenir le momentum? Et il me dit tout simplement, c'est de l'entraînement. Jour après jour, on continue de s'entraîner. On est très conscient de la chance qu'on a et on veut tout simplement continuer à maintenir le niveau. Et j'ai une dernière question. In 2023, you say you both were thinking about stopping Trackmania. So now you've made a back-to-back to reach the grand finals. So did you say sometimes like, I've made the right decision to just keep playing?
Yes. I think our motivation has always been to win a world championship together. We've done it many times, coming first and second in solo. So it's just been a nice one to try and win it together for once.
Et c'est génial, justement, je lui pose la question. Encore une fois, vous pouvez l'applaudir pour cette réponse. C'est vrai que je lui demande comment on fait quand en 2023 on pensait à arrêter sa carrière. Derrière, ils ont réussi à aller chercher un back-to-back. Est-ce que tu te poses parfois la question simplement devant ton miroir en te disant j'ai peut-être pris la bonne décision de pouvoir continuer Trackmania? Et il me dit oui, évidemment, je me suis posé la question. Aujourd'hui, je suis très heureux d'avoir pu continuer. Je suis très fier de pouvoir reach la grande finale pour une seconde fois. And now I just live one last question, but not least. Do you have any message for the French fans who are supporting you all the time? You can make it in French if you want.
No, I'm only Solary for a week now, and thank you to the French fans that support me and welcome me into the Solary team every now and then. And merci, thank you.
Merci beaucoup, merci. Je pense que je n'ai pas besoin de dire de traduction pour ceci, mais je lui demande, est-ce que tu as un message pour les fans français qui continuent de vous supporter jour après jour avec Solary? Et il me répond évidemment merci aux fans français de toujours nous soutenir. Et aujourd'hui, on sent votre accueil chaleureux. Thank you guys, really. You've reached the grand final now. So now let's get back to the cast for the grand final. Solary are just there with me. On se retrouve avec les casters pour justement la grande finale de cette Trackmania World Cup.
Well, you join us at a very somber time. We have terrible news to announce. Unfortunately, 6-time world champion Carl Jr. is a liar. He lied to our faces, Turbo. He said the thing that improved that was speed drift. I didn't see him go for a single SPRD in that final map. How dare he, frankly.
How dare he can't say that. But as we already said, maybe he said that as a joke because he didn't intentionally go for it.
No, I do think it was a joke,
they don't have to go for it. If we see this match coming up afterwards, we're gonna see nostalgia. Both teams looking very good on it. Carl Jr. I think also setting a new world record on that map in the very last round. We could have seen from a very, very small sector there. And then also the first map that we have seen.
Yeah.
Really, it was something that Solary was very good on.
Yeah.
And Viper line, I think it might be the upper hand for Bren and Moda, but it's too early to really say that because both teams look incredibly strong. I think Carl Jr. and Pack maybe a bit more calm and collected and just controlling the match a bit better.
Yeah, which, I mean, you expect with the years of experience these two have under their belt. I mean, again, nobody in Trackmania beats them out for competitive experience as a team. They are the team to beat. They are the players to beat a lot of the time. This year they are very much the team to beat, playing under the Solary banner on this one. Nemesis unable to stop that headlong pursuit of another World Cup title for the players from Solary. Can Jetlag get anything done about it instead? Can Bren become the only player in Trackmania history to have won 2 duo World Cup titles?
So the only player who has not won a World Cup in the grand final is Moda. And I also still want to mention Granadi and Massa. Because Granadi also being so close of reaching grand finals so often. Massa has reached 1 grand final so far. I think that was back in 2016 or 15, back when Pack has won the World Cup. Or Carl Jr., one of those. But guys, before the grand final will be starting, we're gonna go on a small break. Gotta grab your favorite beverage, maybe a Polana Spezi or something else, who knows? But we're gonna see you after a small break. One last dance, one last match. We have our two teams locked into the grand final. It is Solary versus Team Jetlag. This time in the best of 7. I'm so excited to see who is going to make it 3-0 in both semifinals. I hope it will not be a stomp in one.
I really hope it's not a stomp for a couple of reasons. One, we haven't seen a couple of maps yet, and I really hope we get to those maps. Viperline is one of them, of course, and I've been looking forward to seeing that one. Way Down, we haven't seen either yet. Banned in both of our semi-finals. Really hope we get to see them. Really hope we get a close match.
Also, Ascension was not played
Ascension
yet.
wasn't played. We've only played 4 out of the 7 maps.
Yeah, true actually. So
I want to see more maps. That'd be great here in our grand finals. That's my first hope. My second hope is that, well, yeah, obviously that we get a close match, that we get a proper battle. And I think we're set up for it. Both teams looked really solid coming out of their semi-finals. For me, Turbo, I actually think Jetlag looked like the better team in their semi-final. The top pace, as we saw, maybe not quite there with some of those world records getting stolen by Solary in that second semi-final, but the pure consistency, the control from Jetlag over the course of that match, I think they were hitting near top pace more often.
I actually have to disagree with that one because I think Solary is the team that looked much more in control of the match. They just did the pace. They were very consistent on their rounds. They haven't shown their true pace yet.
Sure.
Namely, the speed side on Nostalgia, for example.
That's true.
They have to. They probably have to go for it. The plastic wallbang looked so good, but hardly mistakes happening there, especially on map 1 on air control. We have seen Bren and Muda struggling quite a bit. And I mean, maybe it was the easier match, semi-final 2, who knows? Maybe they just didn't have to push it, but I think it will be a close match. I think it will not be a 4-0, it will be a 4-1, 4-2. I hope it will be a 4-3, that all 7 maps will be played. But it's very hard to tell who's going to do that because you can wake up, maybe also surprise a team. That was also the call from Nemesis in the match beforehand, picking a map that maybe they were very comfortable with, but then Pack and Colgina answered with a very good ending line.
Yeah, it's going to be a good finals, I think, either way. And a little bit of representation for everyone sneaking its way into our grand finals of the Trackmania World Cup 2025 as well. As mentioned earlier, we were on track and we ended up getting a World Finals that technically does not feature a European team, which is incredible to say. You know, I mean, I think even 3 or 4 years ago that would have been unthinkable in every sense of the word. But despite it being, of course, a team from the Americas and a team from APAC, we have managed to sneak a couple of European players in there as well. Pack, you know, still a UK resident, still living there as well. Bren having moved to Australia recently, based on the crowd here and the noise that has been coming out of them every time he's been on screen, they very clearly still think of Bren as one of their own, as a Frenchman in a lot of ways.
I agree, and I mean, Bren has also played alongside Carl Jr. for quite a long time, especially for the Zoraida Duo edition in 2019, if you can think about that one. And I think also the Trio edition, where they played with Sadosh. I think they had something in that in mind, if I recall that correctly. I think that was the year when Gwen, Papu, and one other person won. Don't nail me on that one, but that's just how it goes. And that was during COVID, actually. I still remember that one. And well, now they're playing against each other. Friends will be playing, and the new player on the block in this grand final is Muda, the only player who has not won a World Cup thus far. Will it be this year? Yeah,
it's also, you know, it's an interesting battle in some ways because you have the team who have been the competitive players, the competitive team for a very long time, right? I mean, Carl and Pack are 2 players absolutely synonymous with competitive Trackmania esports. And then you have team side quests in Team Jetlag a little bit, right? You have Deep Dip 2 winner, Bren.
That's very
You've got,
well
you know, Deep Fear first finisher as well, right? Yeah, you've got team side quests over on Team Jetlag. The players who've been so involved with so many other aspects of the Trackmania community along the way as well. Not to say that Carl and Pack haven't been, but their focus really has been esports. We heard it in the interview earlier. Both of them had considered retiring at different points kind of over the last year or two as well, but they came back, you know, as Puff Bros, now Solary, making their way to a World Cup final, looking to win one more, add to the trophy cabinet that is already filled to the seams at bursting.
The question is, when will it be the last World Cup that they're going to win? Was it the one in 2024 where Carl Jr. has won the normal edition, the non-dual format, and Pack got second in that one, also barely qualifying to that one at XP Evo. We all know that heartbreaking moment when Noob 2 prime crashed the outside dirt corner. It still lives rent-free in my head, to say the least. So many different storylines, but then Pack and Kaljinia, you name it, not really playing the game too much, but if they practice for a competition, they're ready, they're there. And then on the other hand, we have Bren and Muda, both with unique and different skill sets. Muda having such a deep understanding of the game. I still remember him playing RPG maps in 2019, being so quick to just pick them up, playing only full speed from beforehand, and then making it into the Trackmania Grand League in 2021. So very impressive to see his growth. And then
but just the wheel. The wheel. I was literally about to bring that up as well. I mean, what a story for Muda, right? You know, I mean, last year making the swap from controller to be a wheel player instead, just saying, I think that's going to work for me.
Yeah, beginning of 2024. Yeah.
How validating would it be to go and win your second World Cup with a wheel then? You know, I mean, he played in it last year, didn't quite have the performance he was looking for. To then, in the second year of being a wheel player, win the World Cup? I mean, it would validate the choice. That would be, yeah, I was right to make the decision.
And I also watched a video from Spam going into this event where he has made a prediction about Muda, and he said that he's not as good on a wheel than on a controller. I think
well, if you win a World Cup, that feels like you've proven the haters wrong a little bit.
Yeah, but even reaching the grand final,
of course.
Even beating Big in that dominant fashion, I think is already a statement here from Muda, really practicing a lot for this tournament. And, well, I mean, he's there. He's in the grand final, and he has a great teammate to work with as well.
I think you're right, absolutely. In a lot of ways, whatever the end result of this grand final now, Muda has proven that his decision to swap to wheel was not a crazy one, right? That it was maybe even the correct decision for him at that point. He's made it to a grand final. There's 4 players, 4 of the best players in the world competing for that title of Duos World Champion for Trackmania as well. And I mean, it's been so fun to watch that journey as well. That's part of the joy of having so many of these players stream so much as well, is getting to see what they do, getting to see the journey. I mean, Muda, basically, you can go back still and find the VODs, find the videos, watch him struggling with the wheel as he first tried to adapt, and follow that journey all the way to a World Finals.
You know what I remember in 2023 when there was the Duo edition, it was Team Wild also being there. Muda trying the wheel from Wizzy on that one, and I couldn't play with that, and Muda couldn't play with it either. It's just so different to play with this kind of wheel. Also, the wheel setup from Granadi is just so much different than the one from Muda, of course. It's crazy to just see the growth of Muda, and I mean, he's also not the youngest player in that way, and picking something up that quick is just insane. That just shows how gifted he is as a player, really.
Yeah, it is super fun to watch. Well, Turbo, we are, I think, rapidly barreling towards match time here, so maybe it's time to start talking a little bit about the maps for this grand final as well, because of course, this is no longer the best of 5 with the 2 bans that we saw for the semi-finals. We are moving to a best of 7 instead. No bans, none available. You will, if it goes to Game 7, have to play every single map in the map pack. And so the question becomes, where are players going to start picking? Who's going to put which maps where? Because it's that difference of opinion again, right? Do you front load all of your best maps to the start and be like, hey, maybe we can win 4-0 and knock them down before they get anything going? Or do we leave some of the maps that we're most confident on for map 5, map 6, maybe even map 7, in case it goes as far as the decider?
Yeah, and I think that's a very good call. I think map 1 should always be a safe pick, the map that you should be most comfortable on. But as we have seen it on the first semi-final already, you don't know the pace on the 3 maps. On the 3 maps, we haven't seen some of those maps just yet. So it is very interesting to see. So maybe just from those first and second semi-final, players have to make their decisions on what maps to pick. I think a very good map to pick here is Camelback, actually, for Team Jetlag. They looked very strong, but also we have seen the potential from Team Solary on that map in the last round as well.
And it's going to be Viper Lane fell to the 5th pick in both semi-finals, right? It was not a map that any teams felt like they needed to ban away, but it was not a map that any team felt they needed to pick early in the order. Whether that's because, you know, Jetlag with Bren being that RPG player feels very confident on it, and they were happy to have it in 5th place in case they needed that kind of ringer at the end, or if because they were like, well, let's try and win before we have to play Viper Line, but we need to use our ban on something else. We're unsure of at this point in time. The players have been doing their offline practice for the last month. Pace is unknown. 3 maps in the pack have not been played yet. which is crazy.
It could stay like that.
And it could stay like that, yeah. We could have this entire event done in 10 maps, which would be crazy, with only 4 maps played.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Ascension during the global playoffs.
That's true.
One, of course, it was also a map that has brought a lot of content on there.
Yeah.
Pack also being not that bad on this map.
Nope.
I still remember when Spam and Pack played that event together.
Yeah.
I think they didn't get first in that. I think they got second, something like that.
Yeah.
But Pack still played very well on this tournament, to say the least. And then, of course, Viperline, as they have already talked about that map as well.
And then what's our final map that we haven't seen yet? Well, Ascension, Wayback, and Viperline are the 3 maps we haven't seen. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
True. Wayback was, of course,
banned in both semifinals.
Banned. The first ban from each team. But now there's no ban. And this map in particular, it felt so odd driving it, because you don't slow down with drifting. You slow down by oversteering in those very banked and tilted sectors. It's very unique of driving that. So seeing how they will play it, I mean, you have to swap the camera if you play in Cam 1. I think Bran is the only Cam 1 player in there, but he can he also swaps to Cam 3 occasionally.
Yeah.
And Muda Cam 3 as well, or Cam...
Listen, hey.
Something like that. But I think...
Something like that, for sure.
I think the big skill set as a player as well is to swap cameras.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you have, Bren, if he is, in fact, the only Cam 1 player there, which I think you're correct on, is an RPG player, is well used to, has built that skill set over many years as well. It's not going to be scary or a surprise to him. One of the things that I think will be interesting is, with Wayback in particular, is how top teams sometimes approach maps. There's this gap sometimes where they're like, well, this is my least favorite map in the pack, therefore I must be bad at it. And there's, if it's awkward for you, it's awkward for everyone, right? You gotta be aware of that. All you have to do is be better than your opponents on it. You don't need to be as good on it as you are on other maps. Is maybe the way you're looking at it. Whatever. We're getting ready. Players are coming in.
Carl Jr. and Pack on the left side, and then we have Bren and Muda, the contenders, I would say. The players who can dethrone the multi-world champions. 7 titles to their name, and only 1 on that side. Muda with the badge emoji. A lot of pressure here on the line. 10,000 euro for first position as well as the trophy. The question is, who's going to get the trophy if they win?
Exactly. Well, I mean, there's only one of the teams that are moving back to different continents. At least, both players from Jetlag are heading back to Australia after this event. But then, yeah, you're absolutely right. You've got Pack and Carl Jr., one heading back to Canada, one staying in Europe, as far as we know, at the very least. A lot of drama. Maybe we'll finally see the Puff Bros split apart, just ruined by the tension of who gets to keep the trophy.
Yeah. Like days until Trackmania drama, 0.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see anyway, as players
Calvin
will...
has enough trophies anyway, so he can give one to his friend.
He might as well give one to Pack at this point. Players will get their final warm-ups in, and then we will be heading into the picks relatively soon. And as we get ready to head over into the picks turbo, I guess we got to ask ourselves the question before we get into the final. I think we kind of hinted at maybe what we're going to respond earlier on. Who do you think is going to win this grand final?
Could be 4-0 for any team.
Yeah.
We have seen a match where Solary was shaky in 2023, where they have played against KC back in the days, and it was Bran and Otak really gaining the momentum from this infamous match between them and ITB back in the days, where we've seen a 1 in 1,000 chance in the end with his identity. So I hope the underdog will make a run through, but it will be very hard to beat Carl Jr. and Pack in this match. So I go 4-2 for Carl and Pack.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, there are many people who would call them high-pressure merchants. Oh, they can only perform when they're under the bright lights. I don't think anyone would say that. And even if you did, that's a very positive thing to be saying, right? Being a bright lights merchant in the way that Carl Jr. has historically been, coming into several World Cups as maybe not necessarily the favorite sometimes. The favorite because he's Carl, but not the favorite in the sense that people are like, well, has Carl even really practiced for this one? Is he looking good this year? And then he wins anyway. It's been the story of Carl Jr. a lot.
Let's see if the plot armor breaks today, actually, because it has happened at XP Evo occasionally, where he was maybe a little bit lucky in some of the moments. Red Bull faster, I think I don't have to mention that plastic incident. I think Granadi still has nightmares from that.
Yep.
But, Carl is just a player to beat. For me.
Yeah. I will say it though. I think that Jetlag have what it takes to beat them in this grand finals.
They definitely do.
I think Jetlag, for me, Jetlag are the team that are going to win this grand finals. That's my prediction at this point. I don't know if I'm comfortable putting a game score, a map score on
4-0.
I don't know about 4-0, but I do think it's very much a case that Mudda, I think, has adapted well to the wheel, has experience under these stage lights as well. And Bren has the experience of already winning a Duo World Cup, and he knows what it takes in these scenarios. I think they're a team that is really this year focused on training together, as we were talking about earlier. They're really as focused on how do we approach rounds as a duo, and how do we squeeze out every advantage or minimize every disadvantage in a round where something has started to go wrong for us as well. And I think in a match that is hopefully looking to be as close as this one, that's the kind of thing that gives one team the edge over the other. And I do think Jetlag are maybe the team that has that edge.
Yeah, I think so as well. I have to agree with that, because they also in the interview said that they have actually fun while practicing and playing. They grow together, they work on their strengths, they work on their weaknesses on those maps and exchange them and be like, hey, I struggle with that, maybe you can help me with this, maybe even Mudda with that S4D on Nostalgia, who knows, or just Bren helping him on...
the lines on Camelback as well, right? We've seen that kind of second to last hump of the Camel, as it were, where they just have such a clean line, so close to that final checkpoint in terms of their turn in. We've seen them gaining time over it, and it's, both players have those lines. Both players have the speed and the consistency and the execution on those lines. I genuinely think it's going to be a little bit Solary have to prove what they've got. And the problem is, Solary always have that possibility. There is so much talent on the side of these two players that if you ask questions of them like, oh, well, can you keep up with the clever lines that we have, with the consistency we have? The answer a lot of the time is just yes.
Yeah, and also there's the beautiful trophy again, and I think a lot of things will be decided by the pick phase here, what map will come up, and it is air control, a pace map to start off things. So interesting, that's the pick from Jetlag. They have taken this one away from Big. Keep that in mind. They had a couple of mistakes, so not sure if that is a comfortable pick. Ascension. So both maps from stage 1 and stage 2 are picked very early on, so Ascension will definitely be seen, but what will be the second pick for Solary? We just have to wait for that. But I think that's already where a lot of things now fall. It's a little bit like the League pick and ban, but it's Viper Line as map number 3 here.
That's spicy.
Iceberg as the 4th map. So that's...
So we are going to see at least 6 of the 7 maps in the map pool today. We are just waiting to see where the final map Wayback does fall that we have not seen just yet. Chance for either of the teams to pick a Jetlag. Probably Nostalgia feels reasonable, but at the same time, you know, Solary did look solid on Nostalgia, and like they might have had time in the bag still, because neither of them went for the S4D. If they have that available as something that they can pull out, then all of a sudden Solary's times become very scary. So Camelback, I think a very reasonable pick for Jetlag at this point of the match, because it's a map that they have looked really good on so far today. Way down will be map 6. Nostalgia would be the map to close things out, and what a way it would be if we get to map 7 with these 4 players, some of the most storied players we have in Trackmania Esports, to close out the World Cup on Nostalgia, on AO1, the remake of it for that identity. Poetry.
I really like Solary not picking Nostalgia there for map 6. Else this pick phase would have looked really, really good for Team Jetlag. It all really depends how they perform on the maps that we have not seen so far. Ascension and Viper Line, of course. What will happen there? We go to air control. We have already seen Jetlag winning this map, looking a bit shaky, a little bit, making some mistakes, but here we go. One final time. It is go here as we have a best of 7 coming into play. So first to win 4 maps will be your world champions of 2025.
Turbo, my cheeks are starting to hurt. This smile is splitting my face in half. I'm so excited. I am so happy to be here at this World Cup Finals with 4 such excellent players who have looked so good all year long. In the semi-finals, both teams just dominated. Frankly, there's no other word for what has happened so far today. Who can carry that momentum better? It's the World Cup Finals. It starts now.
It starts now with the first round here, and let's see who crumbles under the pressure first. Of course, you play on stage, you have spectators, you have the casters in the background. There's a lot of pressure on the line, and the first mistake goes by the name of Bren, who slightly clips there, is 0.3 behind, so Pack and Carl can already move away, but it is Muda still holding on to the flag, but jumping a bit further up, and Pack and Carl with a commanding lead by the looks of it, but no, Muda still in second place.
And it was at the end of the track, as it was on a lot of the identities in their semi-final, where Jetlag really found their advantages. Can Solary hold them off? I mean, Muda has already made that one overtake happen really far, nose down on that one. Muda getting great acceleration out. Bren is still respawning further behind on the track, and Pack has lost just a little bit of ground to Muda. So is Carl. Muda is starting to pull away.
Yeah, Muda indeed can just save it, but what can you really save on this map? You still have to push. We have seen it also in the round where Big was very far ahead. They got the ace, but Muda and Bren were coming so close in that round, and Muda knows that on this map, that you have to get that diagonal jump. You have to get a clean landing in there, and Muda looks very good here, and I think that's also a very solid time. Could be a 180 to start off things. Very good nose dive there as well. Carl not even coming closer, and Muda wins the first or the 118.590, setting a statement.
Yeah.
Very good time. Bren not there to help his teammate, and that's why it is a draw. But still a good start here for both teams. Muda showing pace, Carl and Pack staying out of Bren.
I believe this is the only of the 4 tracks we have already seen today where there has not been a live world record yet. That world record by Mime standing untouched at the moment. We will pause very quickly as something is getting sorted out on stage. Hopefully back into the action very quickly on this one. But that was, I think, the closest we've seen anyone come to that world record by Mime on this track.
Yeah, I think so. We only have seen like a low 119 times, maybe a 118.9.
Yeah, we snuck into the 118.9s. I think maybe even we might have gotten a 0.8, but I mean, Muda's just blown all of those out of the water. That was a 0.59.
And what do you think now? Do players go for slightly riskier lines now that they still feel comfortable with in comparison to the semi-final beforehand? Like, that was my thesis, of course, for Solary, that they looked more controlled.
It might take us a map to ease into that. I think that's where this final ends up, that the risks start coming through from at least one team. But I think it might take us a little while as the teams kind of ease their way into this match to see where they need to be at. With that said, I mean, it's something we have not managed to really talk about a huge amount on the broadcast with the action that we've been having. You know, the fact that it was Pack and Carl who really started that kind of duo trend of having Carl just be a pace car, right? Like, he was driving incredibly consistent, relatively quick, but not all out times, and Pack was just sending it absolutely every single round. It's not something we really saw in that semi-final because it was maybe something they didn't really have to try for.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if now, a couple of years on from when we first had this duo format introduced, that's something they start to default back to in this grand finals.
Yeah, I agree, as we still have a little bit of a break here. Not sure what was on Carl's side, but I've just looked down and there was someone staying behind him. So let's just see how this goes and just wait for the match to continue. As, of course, Muda showed a very good round here as the starter and just drove 0.2 away from the world record from Mime. So here we go.
Yep. Yeah, we are just looking to sort out that problem on stage. It is some of the lighting that was causing issues for some of the players, and so we will be getting back into game very quickly on that. At the very least, it's not issues with hardware. Those are always the worst nightmares, and unfortunately, Chem is at least a few countries away in Europe, and so we don't have immediate tech support from Chem, as we so often need at Trackmania tournaments.
But this time it's not something Chem is
it's nothing, you know, exactly. Chem breathing a sigh of relief somewhere far away.
So you don't even notice that Chem is there, right?
Yeah.
That's like being a referee.
That's true. That's true.
In a football or soccer game, depending where you're coming from, of course.
Yeah.
You don't want to be noticed.
Yeah.
And that you did your job.
Yep.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Let the players play is the dream. We are, well, I suppose let's talk about that first round a little bit more then. Muda was really quick. But Bren made a mistake, and it feels like that is not dissimilar to how things went on air control in that first semi-final as well, when Jetlag did manage to beat Big on the map, but it was a similar thing. We saw a lot of draws. It was Bren who was maybe the player who was a little bit crashier for this side on this track.
Yeah, but also now, what does it do to Carl? Does Carl now, like after that break, of course, does it affect him? Does it affect a 6-time world champion?
Yeah.
That maybe the light is affecting him, maybe him not living up to the expectation of round 1. But I think that's not something that you can really tell because the match is still so long. But still, you can see the light also on the left side going on and off every
Bravo
time.
6 going dark, kind of beat, kind of job right there. Yeah, it'll get sorted out and things will keep going. It's a fair request.
But does it affect the player?
Yeah, light shining in your eyes absolutely does. If there is a player who I think is going to be fully capable of bouncing back from a pause, it's going to be Carl Jr. Again, he's seen it all, he's done it all. He knows exactly what's going on when it comes to just getting yourself locked back into that zone during a match. As players still just making sure they're staying warm, driving around out there on track.
They just locked in.
Doing laps, just staying locked in.
They're just spamming runs, locked in. They just want to stay calm. You know, trying their best, and maybe that's already an advantage for Jetlag early on. Who knows, who knows? The only time will tell if it continues, of course. And, well, I mean, just see when it will continue. There's still something
going on. A lot of choreography going on stage right now as hand signals are being thrown around. This is where, hey, it'd be great. I think all stage managers should have to learn international semaphore. You know, like with the flags and you hold your arms at different positions. I think that'd be really useful because right now they got to talk to the guys at the back of the auditorium. And I think semaphore would be real good for that.
Yeah, I think so as well. It could really help communication.
Yeah, very positive.
I agree with that. As we still on the pause, still not resolved as the pack.
Carl and Pack are just shrinking further into the darkness with every passing moment.
But maybe that's also how they practice in full darkness. Who knows?
True gamers of them, if that's the case.
You're just the hoodie on, right?
Yeah. Dark light, nothing except the blue screen of the monitor and 3 a.m.
And next day you wake up, look in the mirror, and your eyes are full red.
Yeah. Yeah,
we've all been there.
We've all been there. Of course, we've all been there. I would be interested in what the training looked like for these guys a little bit, given the time zone difference between the two of them. You know, I mean, it's whatever it is between Carl on the east coast of the Americas, Pac in the UK, 6 hours time difference or whatever. So, like, I mean, that's a little bit rough in terms of sitting down and trying to bang out. Like, if you wanted to do a 2 or 3 hour training session, people have other things going on in their life, you know? I mean, like, either Pac is practicing kind of late into the evening or Carl is having to rush home from work or study or whatever it is that he is going on.
Yeah, I mean, we've already gotten an insight of how Bren and Moda practice.
Yeah, which was a lot together.
Yeah, but also solo as well, and then just communicating a lot throughout that. And I also wonder how much virtual actually pulled the strings in the background. Maybe also them giving them a free way of not streaming, not being reliable on that income or something like
absolutely.
that. Who knows that? But we're gonna restart the match here, or just resume it, not restarting it, because first run was already played, and 1-1 is, of course, a scoreline that doesn't really affect it in the long run. But of course, you don't get ace, there's no the victory, but still you are only 9 points away, 3 aces away of winning this map.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I mean, it doesn't do anything to separate the teams, but a draw does advance our match state, gets us a little bit deeper on into this one as well. As there was a cheer behind us at some point. It's hard to tell whether that was a cheer because the French audience knows something we don't, or if the French casters are just poking at them, just making them scream for them.
So if we'd be like, make some noise, no one will make noise.
Nobody would make noise. They can't hear us here in venue, unfortunately.
Only us can. We just have to time it, and then they think it was all us.
Then they'll think it's us, yeah. No, it's just us and you, Twitch chat.
I think on YouTube as well, so hi to the
YouTube
and Twitch viewers, of course. Glad that you all here, and I mean, this is just the whole year of 2025 winding down, and as you already mentioned it is the European region who has been knocked out in both semifinals. We have also named 3 teams beforehand who were having the potential of being here as well. But in the end, it is a team from a non-EU region, or both teams being in the grand final.
Yeah, super fun to watch, and it has been so fun over the last couple of years of Trackmania Esports, seeing kind of those other regions grow a little bit. I mean, obviously, to some degree, APAC has been helped with Bren moving to APAC, has helped them out a little bit. You know, PAC playing for the Americas in this one is a little bit helpful. But with that said, I mean, the Americas as a whole, there's been a huge rise in the amount of competition and the level of competition in these regions as well. Never mind the players who have moved there or who are playing representing those regions. There's been growth in depth there as well. EU's still definitely, I think, a long way ahead of those other regions in pure depth of talent, right? As we saw from how messy Europe got this year in general, you know, multiple teams trading off regional wins along the way and stuff. But the depth is growing on the other 2 regions, and that's really fun to see. It's great to see.
I agree. I agree with that. As we still have the pause ongoing, of course. Hello, there's us. So, well, let's see how this match will actually continue, because we have the 2 maps coming up after that we have not seen so far, Nua.
Yeah.
I think that's how the match will make or break. Also on map 1, it will be very important for Jetlag to take this one home. They've already played it, of course.
Yeah.
So who knows how this one will go. 1-1 does not really give us any information at all. Only that Brand crashed and Muda has great pace.
Muda is really quick. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's to some degree what I've been excited to see from Jetlag. Muda is looking really, really strong in this World Cup so far. Has had really good pace on a lot of the tracks. It is worth noting that, you know, as Air Control got picked against them first in their semi-final, and the fact that they've gone and picked it first in the final, they weren't joking when they said Big kind of did play directly into their hands in that semi-final.
And if that was Big's strongest pick,
yeah,
you know,
scary.
We only can assume
yeah.
that maybe one of the strongest picks got banned or something like that.
Ended up down in 4th and 5th. They were hoping to bring the match a little bit longer.
Yeah, we don't know. But it was really going into their favor. And I really want to mention Global Playoffs 2 there, because Air Control was also played in there.
Yeah.
And Jetlag didn't really perform that well during that match. They lost against Puff Bros, formerly back then.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they disappointed thus far.
No.
As we have a tech pause still ongoing.
It sounds like final checks are starting to happen. We're starting to get to a position where gameplay may begin again very shortly. Again, just making sure that the players are in a comfortable environment, that they are able to actually perform to the best of their ability, because we want to make sure that the Trackmania delivered at this World Cup final is the best Trackmania in the world.
And here we go into round number 2. It was Brand crashing very early on, and I think that was like an almost 10-minute break now. Who's gonna bounce back the best in this one? And I think maybe Carl Jr. was struggling to find an entry point with some light on the lighting on the map, like he has a reference point on that map. I don't know what the exact reason was, or the lights was just obscuring him in that way and just was completely limiting his performance on that map. But in this round it looks very much different, as he's on 2nd place and Bran is coming back. Doesn't get a good nosedive there. Carl in the lead, Pack 0.4 behind.
Yeah, and Carl needs to hold on to this lead, hold on to the draw again. This precipitous situation that we saw in our semi-finals as well, where one slip up from Carl and Jetlag spring out to an early lead on the map. Heading into the identity of the track, these jumps, looking to minimize airtime, keep the car from getting fragiled, as well as that's good landings from Carl. Muda really risking it to try and catch him just there, and honestly a little bit shaky for a couple of the players at a couple of different points. Low early landing for Carl, much too low, much too early. It is 2 players through for Jetlag, Muda and Bren. 1-2 to the finish line, and they will spring out to that early lead. 3 points to the good with an ace.
Muda with a great time there again,
wow.
And Carl losing it there in the jump. It already started in this left turn where you want to avoid airtime at all costs. Carl was bumping a little bit, was barely able to get something around, and then maybe don't even have the required angle and speed for the ending. Maybe he was struggling a bit to find it in there, but Jetlag with the ace. 4-1 up here, but we see another mistake. Again, it was Bran crashing the start, but Muda with a fantastic match so far. But Bran really has to capitalize on a mistake from the side of Pack and Carl Jr. now, but they are only 0.2 away from Muda, but he's still leading.
Yeah, Muda holding on to that lead, not by much, 16 thousandths at the last checkpoint. Pack is making a push in the second half of the track right now. Again, I will say identities have looked really good for Jetlag, but the gap is starting to explode. Muda with an awkward landing has dropped 2/10 to Pack already. He is starting to try and gain some of that back, and pretty much the entire identity to go will definitely have his chances, will have his opportunities to try and catch Pack, but equally Carl will have chances on Muda as we go through this first jump. This landing very important then to set yourself up with speed for this next jump. This is nearly where it all went wrong for Carl Jr. on the last round. This time he's jumping a lot further, a lot safer. He's got speed, he's got the downhill. He's trying to slide past Muda, who will land earlier on this downhill. Good acceleration for Muda. It'll come down to the finish line. Muda not able to catch up to our 6th-time world champion Carl Jr. He holds on for an ace for Solary, and we're back tied.
but the times 1:18.89, definitely beatable for Muda, who was struggling a bit and didn't get the nosedive that is required on that first real identity part, where you need to land very late into the map to get your nose down into the map. Now we see Carl Jr. with an early mistake. Bren is in there to deal some damage, but the scoreline is 4-4. Solary just giving it back here and answering with another ace, this time in favor for them. Here we see Brand clipping as well. Pack on an insane start, already quarter of a second ahead of Muda.
Yeah, so quick from Pack. The last couple of rounds, he's had incredible starts. We'll see if he can hold on to it in the second half this time around and maybe look to challenge that world record from Mime. Still sitting there untouched so far today at that 1:18.395.
And also here we could see just the comparison, if you get a good nosedive or not. But Muda now with a mistake, so it is Bren moving up into second place, but Carl Jr. is pushing it. Very aggressive inside line, moving up into second place. Pack very far ahead, doesn't lose control here either, and I think Pack is on a really, really good time here. By the looks of it, maybe it's also deceiving because players make small individual mistakes, but this looks to be like the back-to-back ace, but Carl so close there to the limitation of the block. Pack releasing a little bit as well, but it will be enough for another ace. Pack and Carl Jr. in control, and again, not the fastest times. Nope. Indeed, Pack was saving a bit there, again playing the format right.
Carl very nearly gave it all away on that round, that last block, where he's made a mistake once already in this map, in this match. He didn't make it this time around. He got close though. I was scared. I'm losing my mind. I'm so locked in on these rounds because they have been so hype, so tense, so close. And we'll get a very close start this time around. No player getting a big early lead as Pack has in the last couple of rounds. Mistake comes through. It's Bren again who will drop behind early on, but it's Muda again who will try and cover for that mistake, moving into a lead.
But they need to find 3 victories in a row, or at least an ace here in the next couple of rounds. Oh, Muda with a very aggressive line there is getting away with it, but not the good amount of speed here. Look at that early air brake required, and that's the speed deficit that you just find yourself in with after that landing. And it is Carl Jr. and Pack who's still challenging Muda, who's mysteriously still in the lead.
Yeah, I have no idea. He managed to catch both of them just there again. Muda, great lines. It's the only thing you can say through the middle of the track, landing very far to the left, setting up for this right-hand drift, carrying really good speed, nearly in the outside wall, but timing it to perfection. Once more into this landing. Muda this time landing very close to the edge. Good speed from Pack, all about the landing here on the downhill, and Muda's is picked though. Perfect. Pack with a slowdown. Bren might catch him. He will. And that will be the first win for Jetlag. As you said, if they want to tie this map, they need to get a 3 in a row. That's 1 of 3, or they need to get an ace now.
That was such an important point here for Jetlag in this round, that Bren was able to overtake, but still, Bren still not living up to the expectation that Muda might have on his teammate. Yeah. Because his pace looked absolutely phenomenal. But now we go into this round here. Solary in need of a victory in order to close it out. But look at this, Carl Jr. already 0.6 behind. Can Muda and Bren just save it, or is Pack there to just deny them? But they are so far ahead already.
It's crazy. Even with the 2 aces Solary have so far on this map, it feels like Jetlag have managed to limit the damage. Despite the fact that Jetlag are 2 points down, it feels like Solary have not been able to capitalize on the mistakes that Bren has made. As another mistake comes through from Bren, and once again, it's all on Muda. Can Bren manage to catch Carl Jr.?
That's such an unfortunate landing, because usually you get away with it. You don't slow down that often, especially of someone by the name of Bren, right? Who has insane car control. Very, very unlucky mistake there for him. That is of course avoidable, but so hard to get. But Muda is cooking here. Muda has his teammate in the back, can force one final round where they need to find an ace. 9-7 means that they have to get first and second in that round. And I think Muda will drive a good time. This will be a 0.5, a 0.6, a 0.5. All right, the second 0.5 from Muda here in this match. Nice time here from him, but Pack and Carl Jr. second and third. Bren, unlucky landing there, only getting 4th place. 9-7.
9-7. I was going to say, Turbo, this is our first 9-7 in the Dome de Paris. That does mean we will have a winner on this map after this round. There is no conceivable outcome wherein we do not have a winner on this map. All Solary need to do is get a single car in the top 2, but if Jetlag can deny them that, if they can get the ace right now, if they can pull it out at the last second, they will win the map.
And now Bren finding himself in the lead. I think there was a car clipping a little bit. I thought it was Muda for a second, but he got away with it. Carl losing a bit of time there. Pack, insane risk there with that drift, promoting himself into second place. Good approach into that part as well, going very diagonal, doesn't clip the border there. Oh my god, what a line. And also Pack with a good nose there, but also Muda and Bren got it good, but Muda with a little bit of a bump, going back into third position.
Oh my lord, it is so close down on track at the moment. All four cars separated by less than 0.3 of a second, and Pack is still sitting in that all-important second place that will give Solary the win on the map. Carl is here. Even if it goes wrong for Pack, Carl might still catch up to Muda, who has been the rock for this team on air control. Pack is slowing down. Bren is so far left. Pack looking for a good landing. Bren! The jump was off. Carl is through. Muda will still look to win the round, but it will not be enough. Solary take map 1.
What if Bren would have survived this one? It would have been an absolute banger. 7,000s between first and second. But Solary take home map number 1, but 11-8. That was insanely close. Really seeing Solary pulling the trigger with back-to-back aces there, gaining control. And now we go to Ascension, a map that we have already seen in the first part of the World Tour this year. I think this map provides a lot of content with that very tricky eyesight in the ending, where the exit is so important to get, because that really defines your landing and your end speed at all costs, but also the start here. It's so difficult to drive, and here we go. Mime with the world record, 106.058 the time to beat. Let's see, this is Jetlag's first pick.
Yeah, this is Jetlag's first pick in the... Did Jetlag pick it? No, I think Jetlag picked air control first, right? Jetlag
no, it was Solary.
I'm pretty sure Jetlag picked air control.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter, really. We are going to play the tracks either way, and we will see how it plays out for them in this one. Bren is going to have to respawn at the start, and I mean, I do want to just focus a little bit on that last map performance and rephrase something I was talking about before we got into the match here, which is that you gotta beat Solary. You can't expect them to beat themselves. You can't wait for mistakes from them. You have to earn every round win and every map win against them. And Jetlag just weren't quite able to do enough to earn the win on our first map.
But what I really have to stress here is the performance by Muda.
It was huge, absolutely
incredible. We see Carl Jr. 0% crashes, 0% top ones. I think Pack was able to win one round, but other than that, Muda is playing a match out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's doing very well, and also he is quarter of a second ahead of Carl Jr. But the ending comes. Muda, of course, also being named the Ice Queen in Trackmania. Yes, he was so good on the ice, on ice in general, and also here, look, he just gained towards Carl Jr. and look at the time, a 106.558, winning another round, having Bren in his backpack yet again. So I think the thesis that Spam said in his video, that he still didn't live up to his comparison to the controller.
Proven false.
Maybe false, just seeing the first couple of rounds in this match.
Yep. Oh dear, it's happened again, and this time it's happened to Muda too. He will fall behind. Now luckily they were entering the pool, they got the reactor. Muda's not that far down, but Solary gifted a 1-2 position in the first 5 seconds of our second round.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, but Pack now with a mistake here. And you have also seen the risk that Muda took there, just slightly clipping the pool border to come a little bit back. He's only 0.15 behind Carl Jr. Look at that. But I think he slightly clipped the exit there by the looks of it, but Muda is still there to deal some damage. He could force another draw, and what would that do to Solary? Muda with insane pace in the ending here as well. He had it very good. He's gonna nice, but now he clips the inside. Another mistake from Muda, and now Carl and Pack, they just have to survive, and it will be another ace for Solary. Would be very good for them, as Carl, I think, didn't get the best exit out of the eyesight, but it's still enough to clear the ending jump, and he will win the round. 107.2, roughly a second behind the world record, so definitely beatable times, but Bren, he has to wake up.
Yeah, that was a round where everything went wrong, and this is the problem for Jetlag right now. All it takes is Muda getting it wrong as well, and Bren has just been a little bit out of it in our opening rounds of the grand finals. If Bren can wake up, the pace Muda has been driving at, all of a sudden Jetlag could be the team acing, but it's happened again. the same place on the track, the same issues, jet lag once again, gifting Solary that 1-2 early on.
Yeah, and it's also a quite considerable gap here between first and last. It's 0.7 of a second. Hard to, you can gain that if you drive out of your mind, but against a team like Carl Jr. and Pack, this is almost impossible.
Yeah, on pure pace, they are not leaving 7/10 behind on the track. 99% of the time. Now, there could still be a mistake. We did see Pack with a little bit of an error on the last round, but he's kept it clean this time around and is looking to secure the second ace in a row for Solary on Ascension. And was very close to the inside wall from Carl. It's into the inside wall for Carl. The second time of asking, can Bren get past him? He should be able to. That was a full respawn from Carl.
The gear
is going to catch Pack as Pack drops gears on the way around that final ice slide. Mutta is through, just needs to finish. It will be first. Where's Bren? Pack finishes second. Bren finishes third, and Jetlag at least get a round win.
And you just say that. Solary doesn't defeat themselves, but they did it in this round. Mutta with an absolutely incredible exit out of that ice turn just shows the deep understanding from him that he has acquired in this game at all. And now Jetlag somewhat find themselves after a dire situation where it looked like a 7-1 just after that start. They survived. 5-3 is the scoreline. I think like if you ask them, like right at this point in the previous round, they would gladly take this one. And also here we see Bren and Mutta in the mix. They look very good on this map here, to say the least, but they need to work that they don't do those mistakes at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they survived the terrible situation they found themselves in. They also survived the pool at the start of the map this time around as well. And that has left them competing for the first time in a little while. Bren up here alongside Carl Jr. was in second place, but a nicer sausage transition from Carl Jr. just there is going to get him up alongside Pack and away from the chasers. Bren's respawned. Bren has respawned again, and so Mutta is just trying to get the snipe. Pack lost the gear here last time. Pack will not lose the gear here this time, but Carl will have a shaky exit. And Mutta can't capitalize. Mutta cannot capitalize as he touches on the inside. Will still get a finish, but it's an ace for Solary. It's 8-3, and it is map point again.
And also Mutta, I think he would have had it. If he had survived that turn,
he would have had at least second place.
No, I think he would have gotten first with that one. He had so much speed to work with. He was pushing so much inside, but the car controls with icy tires on just tarmac surface feel clunky in that way. It feels a bit delayed, a bit more turning in. It's very hard, and now Mutta going for that risk here. That was an intentional line from him, trying to get a sort of speed boost out of it, but it didn't work out in his favor. Luckily, he still finds himself on the map, but they need to deny Carl Jr. and Pack the victory in this round. Else it is 2 maps going in favor of Solary here in this one already, as Pack has a great start. Mutta and Bren need to make something happen, but now Mutta, the player who has been falling tremendously behind.
Yeah, and the problem is a win is good enough for Solary right now. 2 points gets them to the full 10 that they need. And Pack, he is just disappearing into the distance. Carl has overtaken Bren now as well. They may end it with an ace into the ice slide one more time. We've seen mistakes from both Pack and Carl across the last couple of rounds in this section. This time around, the mistake is Pack's. He's going to try and hold on to at least third place, but Mutta is coming up from behind as well. Bren is through. Is Mutta through? He is! We get at least one more round.
What a great ending there from Mutta. Pack really struggling with that ice slide exit, and that shows the potential from Jetlag they have on this map. Both players looking strong, but they fail in the very, very, very bad ways. That way, very unlucky for them as well that Pack and Carl Jr. are able to answer those mistakes then as well.
And I'll also point out this wood section that's coming up as well. Bren has looked tentative on it compared to the other players. He has just not been sending it. There you go again. Carl just slides his way past Bren because Bren is not attacking that as aggressively as all three other players are. And they can't afford that right now because anything other than an ace ends this round for them. Mutta has once again on that tight precision section lost speed with a clip. And so Pack and Carl Jr. needing to only get one player in the top 2 have 2 players in the top 2. That's over.
Yeah, Bren also not going for a respawn there. He didn't respawn thus far, so maybe just mentally resetting. Of course, mistakes could still happen in the end, but this map is over.
Yeah.
Solary winning this one here as well, and it's 2-0. Pack and Carl both surviving the ending now as well. This will be the last time that we're gonna see this map. It doesn't matter. Carl still clearing the ending. Also a great time from Pack here, 106.560. To end it off, there was so much potential though from Jetlag on this map.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Consolation prize for Mime, who was knocked out in the semi-finals. He retains the online world records for 2 of the tracks, at least in the map pack, Ascension and Air Control, the previous map here. And now, for the first time today, Turbo, we get to see Viperline.
Yeah, Viperline also on the map that I really thought I would really like to drive this one. This looks like the most accessible map for me to play.
Sure.
It has like an RPG theme to it. A lot of transitions, a lot of different lines, those bank platform blocks being of course used here that you have to drive over on multiple occasions. You have a jump out of it, you have a drift, you have transitions into that where you have to set up a drift, and just a very cool map here that has been incorporated into the map pool. And let's see what Jetlag is able to do. They have to pull the trigger, they finally have to win a map.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the get-right map for Bren, you know? I mean, a little bit more RPG-like. It has been a struggle for Bren in this finals so far to really make an impact, but he is leading the way to kick things off on Viperline, showing off some of that car control so far, and he has his teammate to back him up. It's a little bit cleaner from both Mutta and Bren over Carl Jr. as they are starting ever so slightly to inch away from Solary.
Yeah, and I think Bren is still looking for his first round victory, so this could really get the momentum going. But as we rightfully predicted, Bren is sick on this map, but messes up the apex in that turn. Very important to set it up nicely. Carl jumping very far up, losing a bit of speed, but still is up there in that second place. Now the ending will decide. Carl with a great time. Mutta with a bit more exit speed. Bren also in the mix. Who's going to win this round? Mutta is still ahead, but Carl with more speed by the looks of it than Bren. It will be so close, but it will be the victory for Jetlag, and we see also the world record getting absolutely destroyed here. Jetlag winning the round. Bren still in need of his first win, but look at this, all 4 players within 2600ths of a second.
Pack was 3,000ths behind Bren at the finish line there as well. It was so nearly a draw, but Jetlag, their first lead in a long time, if not in this match entirely, I think. I don't think they've been leading in this match, and now they have an opportunity because Pack has made the early mistake. Pack is going to respawn, and Bren and Mutta looking to pick up an ace.
There was this ace, of course, on map number 1
yes.
on Air Control, where they got into the lead, but then Carl and Pack answered with a counter ace right there. But yes, you are completely right. They were not leading a single map from that point on.
Yep.
And now it looks good that they will even extend their lead. Bren now finding himself in the lead alongside Mutta. Carl setting up that turn very far to the right. You can clip there to get a more inside approach, and that is what Carl is doing here. Carl finding himself in the lead right now.
Wow, Carl doing everything he can to provide damage limitation for Pack's earlier crash. It is going to be Carl Jr. in first place at the moment. Not a huge amount of track left to go right now. Bren making the push back, early landing for him. Bren, he has speed, he jumps so low! And Bren will find his way into the finish line just before Carl Jr. Mutta takes home third. Jetlag extend their lead by 1.
Such a great ending there from Bren, winning his first round. If I remember correctly, I think Mutta had like a 50+% win rate just after round number 10, something along those lines. We can also see the stats from Carl in the bottom left, 6% crashes. Only 1 round where he has been fallen majorly behind, and then winning 2 rounds in total. But Bren, as we predicted, a very good map for him, has a commanding lead at the start already, but slowing down a little bit, so Pack and Carl Jr. are able to close the gap back here, and Mutta, the player who's been falling a bit behind.
Yeah, now Bren starting to slip a little bit. Will get good grip up the hill on the inside, getting off the plastic early, and so re-overtaking Carl Jr., who is now slipping behind Mutta as well. 2 different battles starting to form a little bit here, but Mutta seems keen on making his way into that battle for first place as well. Carl Jr., he's not giving up either. It is too close to call through the middle of the track.
It's so close here. Mutta losing a bit of ground, but Carl again jumping so far into the map in between Bren and Pack this time around, and this round ending here. Bren with a beautiful line, setting himself up nicely for that turn in the end, and I think Bren will take it, but Pack has more speed.
Oh my God.
Pack has more speed, and Pack is winning the round, but
tie.
only it's a tie. So he wins the round.
Bren wins the round.
Theoretically, but Bren was ahead in the checkpoint beforehand, and that's why it goes to Jetlag in that favor.
that finish line as well. Obviously, you want to try and finish as close to the jump as you can, but the issue being that it's sideways. You risk bouncing off the finish line. Bren has been nailing that finish. You saw it. Pack had more speed. He just jumped half a car length, a couple of tires widths slightly further into that checkpoint than Bren, and so Bren able to hold on to keep that at a draw, to keep Jetlag's lead at 2. Solary are back on the push though. I think they've smelled a little bit of blood in the water after that last round.
But Carl now losing the gear, but what I really have to stress here, this is such a great map to follow. So many close rounds that just get decided by just small inputs, by this clip here that Carl Jr. went for in round number 2, but this round looks to be much more favored for Jetlag again, even if it's a draw. Bren almost clipping there, but look at that. Moda coming a bit closer to Pack here by the looks of it as well, but he just needs to hold on to that 3rd position. But look at Pack. Pack versus Bren here yet again, but this time it seems that Bren is too far away from Pack to get that 1st position. At this Pack now winning the round with another PB, tying the world record from Muda even, but it's another draw here. 4-6 is the scoreline. Jetlag only 4 points away, but Solary definitely not out on that equation just yet.
Pack is having a rough time of it with draws in the last 2 rounds. First he draws and gets a tie instead of a win with Bren, and then he ties Muda's world record, and Muda's name stays beside the world record as a result. But Pack, despite that, is having an excellent time of it right now on Viper Line. This is a map where we thought maybe Jetlag would start to pull away a little bit, get their heads back into this match, get their first map win on the board. Solary are not making it easy.
Yeah, and Pack definitely doesn't withdraw in this round here at all, as he finds himself in that battle for 1st place. But now Bren is behind, and it seems like Bren is the pacemaker for Jetlag on this map, and Muda has to defend Carl Jr. and Pack, who had fantastic ending sections, and also Pack will go for the overtake. Muda with a good landing there, has similar speed to Pack, and also this entry very important. Pack struggling a little bit. Muda has more exit speed. Muda going back into the lead. But look at that. It's only 0.08 of a second between 1st and 3rd position. Muda with a good landing. Carl Jr. overheating there. It's not enough to get that 1st position. But it is. It is enough because Carl gets an insane ending. Are you kidding me?
There it is again. You're trying to get as close to the jump as you can. Carl Jr. nailed it. That was insane. Pixel perfect from Carl. He gets the world record alongside it as well and gives Solary the round win. They are still 1 point behind. Jetlag still moved to track point, but an ace has never felt further out of reach than between these 2 teams on this track.
Wow, what an ending there from Carl Jr. I thought that he would clip there, but he was getting it pixel perfect, almost there. And look at that start from Carl. He really wants to smash that world record into pieces here. He wants to go into the 101 ranges, and he wants to close out this match here within 2 rounds. Pack is also not too far behind, having to release a little bit, but still gets away with it with a lot of speed. Look at that gap here, Nua.
The gap is nothing. There is no gap. How can I see what's not there? Turbo Muda is trying to get past Pack. He overjumps. He's outside. He's too wide. He will fall back into 4th place. The lunge, ill-advised and ill-timed from Muda. Bren sitting in 3rd right now behind Carl Jr. and Pack, who could move to 9, could make it 9-7, could set themselves up in a great position to take this map against the run of play. It'll need to be a miracle from Bren. He will not pull one out. Solary with the ace.
Solary with the ace, and again, Jetlag. It's ace or bust for them. They have to get it across. They have shown the pace, of course, but Carl Jr. and Pack have shown an insane pace in the last 2 rounds. Insane resilience as well.
Yep.
After being behind, seeing the pace from Muda and Bren and not being affected by that in any way.
It's been ridiculous so far. It has been so much, and Jetlag, they've been struggling to find aces all match. Even on the start of Viper Line here, when it looked like they had the edge, they still did not manage to find an ace. And Bren is holding on to 3rd, but Muda has fallen away in 4th, and this is looking like Solary going to 3 map wins already.
Yeah, and this looks dire for them because Muda is 0.4 behind. They need to rely on 2 mistakes from Pack and Carl Jr. They can, quote-unquote, just save it. Of course, there's still hard parts to come up. You can still bounce here. You can still clip the inside on their turn. You can still mess up the drift approach and having to respawn. But Pack looks very much controlled, and Pack will close out this map for Team Solary. Carl Jr. has fallen behind, and also a new world record here for Pack, 102.055. and Solary wins map number 3 as well. And time and maps are running out for Jetlag. They have to win 4 maps in a row in order to make it. And Iceberg was also a map that Solary looked very good on. The ending in particular, it was very good for them.
Yeah, it was. They had the tricks, they had the lines, they had the ability to get last second overtakes done in their semi-final. And look, I hate to use cliches, Turbo. You know that about me. But there are times that cliches were invented for, and Solary, ice in the veins right now. It has been so solid under pressure from them. Even when a map starts to drift away from them, they limit the damage, they come charging back, they get an ace, and they close it out.
I want to go back to the point that we started on at the start of the cast.
Yeah.
Right after round number 1, where we had the break. Does it affect Carl Jr. and Pac? And the answer is
no.
A clear no. It did not affect them at all. Can they close it out? Will it be 0-3, 3-0, and then a 4-0? 10 maps. This is it.
Yeah, this match in particular, both the semi-finals, it felt like were maybe fair 3-0s in quotes, right? I mean, Jetlag, it doesn't feel like they deserve to go down 4-0 in this grand final. They've made it to 9-7 twice. They have been denied from a 7 position twice already. They've been making it to match points of their own, to map points of their own. They just have not been able to close it out. In this round, they're looking maybe to find something of an advantage, but we'll keep our eyes on how the ending goes for Pac.
Yeah, because Pac is the only player left for Solary here in this round. Moda and Bren, let's see what they have on this map. Do they have what it takes to beat Pac in the ending? It looks very good right now because Moda is quite far ahead, but the turnaround is still left to be clear. Bren with good speed, but you have to slow down anyway. What is Pac able to do? Again, over rotation. Pac barely able to get the checkpoint, but it will not be enough to overtake Moda and Bren in dire need of that ace, and they get it when it maybe is already too late. Yeah. But they can still win 4 maps in a row. And I had a dream. I have to say that.
Yeah.
That this World Cup is ending on nostalgia.
Yeah.
And you know what map number 7 is?
I do know.
Maybe my dreams are correct. Maybe it will be a déjà vu.
Who
knows?
French, I see. Turbo's being nationalized? No, naturalized? Something like that. It doesn't matter. Carl Jr., he's in his natural habitat anyway, out in first place in a World Cup finals. Mudda just behind him, and Pac sitting in 3rd place as well. Bren in 4th at the moment, but it is most definitely not a distant 4th. High jump from Mudda, very wide on his approach to that, but really good speed on the downhill as a result. Nearly alongside Carl Jr. and looking to maybe get good speed out of the bobsleigh. That is a good exit from Mudda, but it is Carl jumping and landing a little bit further right and getting further acceleration out of it. Carl's just in the wall. That was unexpected. That was not a section of track you expect to see. Crashes on. It's gifted 1st place to Mudda. Pac in 2nd, and now Jetlag could move to 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1 would be huge, but Bren with a respawn. So this is very unlucky, and also Pac almost sniping Mudda there in the ending, but it could be a 5-1 here in favor for Jetlag. Of course, allowing them to have 1 slip-up round, but who definitely slipped in that round was Carl Jr., who went complete into the wall. And I also want to talk about the line from Mudda. Very wide setup in that part, having so much speed, and then also in the result, going very wide on that ice ramp that we have on the map. Losing a lot of time on there, right? It didn't look that much controlled in comparison to the line from Carl and Pac.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Mudda definitely in this upcoming section as you go for that kind of quarter pipe bobsleigh turnaround that we are entering very shortly. Going into it now-ish. Mudda went very wide here in the last round. You're absolutely right. He's gone quite wide again. He's looking for quite a high setup, and he got good speed downhill. Pac, who we were on board with, is the player who makes a mistake that time around. And Mudda very wide then on this corner as well. He's clipped on the entry into the bobsleigh.
And both players got a slight drift, and with that, Carl has more exit speed in that corner, and Carl moves back into that battle for 1st position. Of course, a draw at this point is still advantageous for Jetlag, but against a team like Solary, you really want to win those rounds where a player falls tremendously behind. Is Bren able to stay ahead? Carl with a great turnaround. Is he able to get it? No,
he missed.
He misses the checkpoint, and that's the ace for Team Jetlag. It's 7-1.
Oh, that's disastrous for Carl right there.
Everything falls apart right now on this map.
I mean, an ace versus a draw, or not even a draw, an ace versus a loss is such a huge swing in points. I mean, that's so much more gifted to Jetlag there. Instead of the gap being 4 points, it's 6.
And now you talked about it. What maps you want to play at the beginning? Was it Solary's best maps he played? We don't know. And let's go ahead into the next round as Bran and Muda both did not make a mistake. Carl Jr. and Pack finding themselves still in the mix though, and Carl with a great line, Pack as well, but all it will be decided in that jump sector here. It was of course Muda who jumped very far up in this sector. Let's take a look out to the line from Brent because he took the same approach than Carl and Pack in this round here, but look at the lead from them. They could score the counter ace here by the looks of it, but still the endings have to be cleared, and we've seen a lot of mistakes on the second part of the map from both Solary players.
We really have. There has been issues. Carl obviously missing the finish line on that last round, well, missing the last checkpoint and therefore not getting a finish. Muda's respawning behind right now. It's all up to Bren, and he is on the charge. Great speed from Bren into these final couple of corners, looking to try and beat out both members of Solary. He's going to be first into that checkpoint. He's so high up. Will he get the finish? No! An ace as Bren overcooks it into that last checkpoint.
And we have seen Pack and Carl Jr. just driving great times, and also a new world record just by the way, as Bren was unfortunately overcooking it there. So that was very, very unfortunate for him in this regard, because Carl and Pack, they have figured out this ending line quite well. We have seen that in their semi-final already, where they've gotten the checkpoint almost pixel perfect. But they also answer the 1-7 deficit that they had with an ace. It would have been so important for Jetlag to at least get 1 point at the 98.
1 point there, and then all of a sudden you don't need an ace to win the map. All you need is a round win, and that's a lot easier to come by in any match, and especially when you're against Carl Jr. and Pack. But hey, they're on track for the ace in this round right now at the very least, and that would equally just close the map out here. Carl though, good speed on that exit.
And Muda as well. Look how close it is, as it is Nua who just loses his breath, because this round is breathtaking indeed.
True.
As you can see, but now Bren with a mistake. So he needs now Muda. It's a similar situation than in the previous round, just that Muda has a quite comfortable gap, goes very wide, has to slow down a lot in the end, but he needs to stay just ahead of Pack here by the looks of it. Muda with a great turnaround, but Carl Jr. had it better, and Carl will win this round, but Muda at least getting 1 point as a solace here against Solary. The score now is 8-6. Solary is lurking. It was a 6-point deficit. Now it's only 2 points. Jetlag, however, only need of a victory, and they can do it.
Yeah, track point still for Jetlag, but Solary are creeping up. 1 more point for Solary if they can avoid Jetlag winning the map in getting that 1 point. And all of a sudden, Solary are on match point, are on tournament point, are on world champion point.
They are indeed, but they still need at least 2 more rounds, and also need to deny Jetlag the victory here. As we see Bren not with the best start. Pack and Carl Jr. finding themselves in the lead. Muda also wobbling a little bit there. He had a good approach.
Oh my God!
Bren is out, and now it is again all up to Muda, who played a great grand final so far. What is the speed looking like for Muda? Will he appear in this sector? The answer is a partial yes. I think I've slightly seen him, but Carl and Pack are just too far ahead.
It is cooked, man. We are going to 9-8 for Solary, barring big mistakes from Solary through these final few corners, but we've seen it. Their ending looks better than Jetlag's as well. They've got that line, the turnaround so low. Muda's coming back at Pack with speed, but that doesn't matter with the line that Pack is approaching this last checkpoint with. As long as Pack makes the checkpoint, which he did. He clipped it the barest of touches with his wheel. Perfect from Pack in a round where Solary get the ace. They move ahead on the map, and they are now on World Championship point. They are up 9-8. They were down 7-1. This has been incredible from Solary.
I thought that Pack missed the checkpoint, but that is it. Will Jetlag force overtime, or will we see an ace?
The crowd wants it.
Will we see Jetlag forcing overtime, or will we see them maybe even ace them in the last couple of rounds? It did not look that good for them. And also here, Pack and Carl Jr., they just need to get 1 first position.
They just need to get someone in first place, and it is done. It is over. And when the two players you're looking at are Pac and Carl Jr., you're trying to keep out of first place. Well, at least you have Mutta and Bren, two players who might have a chance of stopping them. But right now they are doing no stopping. Carl is in first. Pac is in second. Carl with a little bit of an awkward line. He recovers. He gets downhill. He'll land a little bit left, and he will be able to take him. Speed from Bren and Mutta on the way through. Pac is falling behind. Carl is still in second place. The position we're in at the moment would send us to overtime. But how does Pac end it into this turnaround one last time? Carl Jr. is in second. Pac overtook Bren, but Carl Jr. was in second. It's a draw, and a draw wins it.
A draw wins it. What an absolute incredible ending from Carl Jr. and Pac. And you see the emotions there as well. What a good match though from Mutta and Bren. Wow, like this was absolute cinema in the end. It's 4-0. They cannot believe it either. They were 7-1 down. And they win at 10-9.
I would also like to point out that that final checkpoint is about 5 car lengths away from the finish line, and everybody ended in a different position from where they were at that final checkpoint in that final round. Everybody changed position.
I cannot believe
that's ridiculous.
What I've just seen. That was one of the best maps I've seen in a long time.
Oh my god.
Of course, Mutta and Bren, they were getting those 2 aces.
Yeah.
They were so far ahead, but at the end, Carl Jr. always wins.
Carl Jr. always wins. Trackmania is a game where everyone drives around very fast, and in the end, Carl Jr. always wins. This time around, he's got Pac alongside him, and I think it means a lot to those two. They've competed against each other for so long. You heard it in the interview earlier as well. We'll get another interview with them now. These two are so happy.
Est-ce que vous pouvez faire un maximum de bruit? Vous avez été absolument exceptionnels. Ils ont été exceptionnels. Ils vous ont fait vivre un match endiablé. Après avoir songé à arrêter en 2023, ils prennent aujourd'hui leur résilience et leur courage pour remporter ce titre de champion 2025. Oh guys, how are you after this match? Was really insane.
That was insane. Well, thank you to the crowd for being incredible during that. It was unbelievable. So thank you guys. Yeah, thank you to everyone watching as well. But yeah, what a final. I mean, we really got into it. And then map 3, that was incredible from them. We thought, my God, we didn't expect to be so hard on that map. And then the final track coming back. Wow. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I just like
doing it wrong?
A little bit higher.
A little bit higher.
A little bit higher.
Sorry, I'll be up here.
Very sorry about it.
Won't say it again. But you know, unbelievable. We're just so happy to get our World Championship together.
And for you, Carl, what's the feeling right now?
It feels good to finally have one with the last one we did. We got smashed by Casey, by Bren in the grand final. So now
revenge.
Yeah, we did, and it feels just great. We played good in the final, we played good in the semi, and we trained hard, and we wanted it, and we got it, and it's just unbelievable now.
Work hard and you're gonna be world champions in Trackmania 2025. Alors du coup, je lui pose la question tout simplement, comment on se sent après avoir pu remporter un titre de champion du monde sur Trackmania en 2025? Et on me répond tout simplement, c'est absolument incroyable. On vous remercie à vous public, surtout sur scène, d'avoir été avec nous parce qu'on l'a senti. C'était le 3e joueur, on va dire, de cette équipe. On a vraiment senti une énergie formidable, notamment durant la map 3 et juste derrière, on s'est entraîné extrêmement dur, disait Carl. Et aujourd'hui, on a enfin cette récompense, être les World Champions. And I have another question for you. What was the strategy during the veto? You know, we know that we can't ban any maps, but do you prefer like have the strongest maps in first, or maybe keep them for the end? Sorry, like cherry on the cake, maybe?
Well, we picked our strongest map second. Well, our first pick. Luckily, they picked the map that we were going to pick anyway, so that was lucky for us. And then sort of just go at it with the mentality, don't crash. Okay. That's our strategy. It used to be I win, Carl safe. Now it's we just do the same because we're good enough to do it. And I think, yeah, we did it well there.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. He said it all.
Il a tout dit, disait Karl. Et oui, c'est vrai, justement, pour le map veto, mais pas de stratégie particulière finalement. On voulait juste continuer d'être bon sur toutes les maps. On s'est vraiment entraîné, Karl.
Just one thing, we want to say huge thanks to Spam and Raceland because they're part of our team, so they're also world champion. I just wanted to add this here right now.
Ils sont effectivement World Champion avec vous, car tu as bien raison de pouvoir en parler ensemble. And you know, like, some team lost focusing after a mistake, but you don't. So how do you manage, like, what's the right balance between fixing our mistakes and just moving on?
You just have to go and hope you're not making the same mistake again. It's hard, but it's Trackmania, it goes fast. If you make a mistake, the other team can make a mistake the round after. So we just, even when we were down 7-1, it was not over. We knew we had the pace, we knew we could make it, and we did it in the end. So yeah, just everything worked for us.
C'est extrêmement intéressant. Je lui demande quelle est la bonne balance simplement entre pouvoir corriger son erreur, donc forcément se concentrer dessus, ou pouvoir tout simplement aller de l'avant. Et il me répond, pour trouver la bonne balance, tout simplement, il faut continuer, aller de l'avant, espérer ne pas refaire les mêmes erreurs. Ce sont les mots qu'ils emploient. En fait, tout simplement, espérer, employer, essayer de trouver les bonnes solutions. Et ils le font très bien. And I have just one last question for you guys. Do you have any words for the French crowd? Was really, really insane. It's always you for the message for the French crowd.
Well, merci beaucoup for supporting us. And that's it for me.
Maybe in French?
He said it in French though, mais merci beaucoup en québécois.
Merci beaucoup and thanks so much to Solary again and again. Merci infiniment. Alors mesdames et messieurs, désormais il est l'heure de pouvoir passer au soulevé de trophées. On va pouvoir accueillir Adrienne qui est avec nous aujourd'hui, qui fait partie de l'équipe Ubisoft. Messieurs, go just over there, take the trophy and you can just maybe give me the mic. Oh, okay, that's fine. Just, you can leave the trophy. Together guys. Ok, for the first, ok. On va faire quelque chose ensemble, les gars. And now for Karl. Et on va en faire un dernier. Let's make it together, guys. Maybe make another leap, guys. Infiniment Pack. Et nous désormais, nous allons pouvoir rejoindre les casteurs pour pouvoir conclure cette magnifique Trackmania World Cup. Vous l'avez vu, c'était l'année dernière des anges déchus et aujourd'hui ils sont revenus pour pouvoir récupérer un titre, le back-to-back de Karl Junior à la Trackmania World Cup, et on se retrouve directement avec G-Geek et Lutti pour la conclusion de celle-ci. Merci beaucoup.
Congratulations again to Solary, deserving world champions in 2025, and huge resilience from them during that match. I thought particularly interesting from them, Turbo, was how they were actually scared on map 3. They were not expecting the pace on Viper Line from Jetlag. Despite that, what's really impressive to me, they never even gave up an ace.
Yeah, true that. On Viper Line, they played out of their mind. So just great performance, and I already said that to you when we were just watching the interview. Yep. Like the second part of each map, yes, also on map 4 on Iceberg, was very, very good from Solary every time. Huge resilience, just taking round after round, knowing their pace, setting world records, yep, almost back to back. So what a great performance. There you have it. I also asked production beforehand if they have another graphic ready for the Play of Champions. The answer was a laughter.
Yeah, but it's the Solary one was ready to go. It was assumed we'd be getting to use it. I mean, hey, it's always hard to bet against Karl Jr. and Pack. I will say the one thing I'm devastated we didn't get to see in this grand finals was Camelback. I think that would have been such a fun match to see these two teams compete on. It's such a fun map. But that's what happens when you get a 4-0 on that as well. I mean, Solary just absolutely managed to get it done.
Yeah, with a clean sweep score-wise, but the maps were much closer then we have seen the score being 4-0, of course. We would have loved to see map 5, 6, or even 7 to have some pressure in there. But what I can say, thank you so much.
Well, to quote Pac, Merci beaucoup. And from us here on the broadcast, merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
Pac's pronunciation, we're not going to get into it. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for the World Cup 2025. What a year of Trackmania esports it has been. Multiple winners across multiple competitions, so many community events going on, and this, of course, to cap it all off, the Duos World Championship with long-time world champions and now 7-time world champion Carl Jr., 2-time world champion Pac. Absolutely massive performance from them.
Yeah, I mean, Pac really missing, or just really wants a second World Cup win, and if you can beat them, join them, right?
If you can't beat them, join them. That's going to do it for us here from the World Championships. One more time, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep an eye out for more Trackmania esports in the future. 2026 is on its way.